Nice.
Why is Dice Radar not happening? What happened?
That's something else. It's just that I used to have a Twitch channel that I did the game at, and I changed the name address thing.
He wanted to try and stream D&D to an audience that's not just random furries.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know, the audacity.
What?
Didn't quite work out.
Oh no. The audacity of this bitch.
This
Harry Potter and the audacity of this bitch. Yeah.
this is scandalous slag. But yeah, there's a lot to do and a lot going on, but I have a game going finally after a long time.
You had a game yesterday.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Shush. Although you are right. The hell am I talking about? So, try as I might to prepare everything, there's still stuff left to prepare, so we'll do it live, I guess. So,
We'll do it live.
Is
yeah,
that you with the coffee stream bot?
I know.
Okay.
There's only
Somebody is going to ban.
Did we get a stream link or not?
I'll put it in. I'll post it in tabletop whispering text for you all. So, welcome to this new game, all y'all. I know we haven't played together in a few months since the Halloween special we did last year, which got eventually delayed into a Christmas special almost. But I hope you're all excited.
Yeah.
Yes, Queen.
So, with a bit of preamble, mostly for Mellows, who's wasn't a part of my previous many games. In this world of Gundhr, namely here in the northern kingdoms, Hosenfell rather, people have been struggling for a while. Once so many centuries ago, magic suddenly disappeared. Or, not all magic, but high magic suddenly disappeared from the world, all completely. And people were very confused for a while. And then, slowly but surely, people started to try and recover all of that old lost knowledge. Or, some people tried to make new knowledge and create a new form of magic, or a new form of high magic, which eventually became the modern magic that the world has today. To do so, throughout the many centuries of wars all across the northern kingdoms, one such kingdom, Solfak, went and built an academy, an organization, an institution of learning, but mostly research, whereupon they could start to look into discovering magic again. And for the many centuries afterwards, they mostly did. They came up with their own sort of high magic, although it's particularly hard to harness, and only very accomplished spellcasters and arcanists can ever get to wield this high magic that they managed to come with. And slowly but surely, the world started to utilize this magic, the northern kingdoms. Eventually, that magic was used to put a stop to the wars, allow several of the civilizations and all of the peoples here to settle down into their own accord and finally prosper and thrive. But 50 years ago, Most people don't know why, but suddenly, whatever source of high magic that had vanished from the world for a millennium suddenly came back. And just as it did come back, a lot of people started just displaying all manner of magic potential. A lot of spontaneous arcanists started showing up around, and people started just being able to cast spells, whereas previously, they would never really truly be able to. Which made the people at the academy in Sofak very perplexed and confused. And over time, they have tried to corral these people to talk to them, teach them in the ways of magic, but also understand where all of this magic is coming from. And over time, a lot of people started to come to grips with that. The return of high magic was very celebrated. However, it was also feared, because not only high magic returned, but also several things that were previously powered by high magic. Namely, a lot of weird physical events started happening in the world. Forests started to shift around just crazily in inexplicable ways.
Died.
There's a whole talk of a floating city to the continent of Nolan, to the west. A whole continent that was only ever mentioned in history books, the few that remained, suddenly showed up in the oceans to the south. A continent that apparently had been previously vanished for 1,000 years as well. And the resurgence of magic brought along with it many, many powerful things that people don't truly understand. And as with most things people don't understand, they highly fear it. So, for the past several many decades, the Academy has been trying to study those things and come up with ways to harness those powers, and also try to not let it do any harm to the world at large. The Academy of Sofak is an hour hike away from its capital, the city of Mergin. Going up the mountains westward, an hour hike away, you get to the Academy, the Novarcana Academia. And that is where all of you find yourselves in this most auspicious day. Except, the situation in which you find yourselves is at least bamboozling. All of you slowly wake up. You look around and you see yourselves in a room. You're laying down in beds, and this room seems medical. Seems like you're in some manner of hospital ward. You look around to see that yourselves are not wearing your regular clothes, but wearing some manner of gowns that seems both to be medical gowns of sort, but also kinda there's some religious vibes to them, ritualistic gowns that you are wearing rather. And as you look around, slowly, you started to notice all the other four of you in that same room, all in different beds, all across the way. And just as you come to your senses, you see someone that is walking around in this hospital ward, and when you see this tiefling guy coming about, he stops on his tracks, notices that all of you are groggily starting to wake up, and he's like, "Oh, that it worked." And he just turns around and starts running off into the distance, screaming for some names. Jurgenod, Valdraff, I need you here in the infirmary. And he just runs off and pretty much leaves you guys to your own for a while.
Oh, what was that all about?
Wildek, when you look around, you see these three people, or three other persons, and they also see you, and you have absolutely no idea who they are. But most importantly, you also have no idea how you came to be here.
Last thing I remember, I was out on the road.
When you try and think about it, you feel like there's a long period of time you have no recollection of.
Knick-Knack sort of looks around, looks at what he's wearing, sees the person yelling and running out of the room, thinks, oh god, I've been abducted by a cult.
So, as you all look around yourselves, the four of you are the only ones in this infirmary, and Wildek, would you be so kind as to describe what you look like?
Well, I am a halfling. I imagine that I look stunning in this gown that I'm in. I have my hair kind of. I brush my fingers back through my hair, trying to slick it down, and kind of push my beard back out a bit, and I'm like, and he looks completely shaken, not by the fact that he's here in bed and has lost time and stuff, but that I do not look my most regal best.
You do notice two things. Everyone is wearing gowns. These half hospital, half religious, ritualistic gowns, and there are small, intricate inscriptions onto these gowns, and you can see that all of them has like a symbol, a patch of some sort. All of them.
Do I recognize the symbol as something? I mean, from my religious training.
Yeah, this patch is the symbol of Hakapfagan.
Well, I mean, this must have something to do with it. I don't know what. But this seems to be, and I can never pronounce that name. Kafpagan.
Half of a hexagon?
Half of a hexagon.
So, Knick-Knack, you see Wildak, the halfling, getting up, and then immediately he just starts priming himself, trying to look as if he hadn't just been asleep for a long while. And what do other people see when they look at you, Knick-Knack?
Oh no. They see a small red-scaled lizard with horns, who is very curiously studying his surroundings with a confused expression, moderately panicked, as he doesn't quite know where he is, how he got here, and why he's apparently been dressed by other people.
As you look around, you see a lot of just the hospital ward. There seems to be a lot of tools spreading cabinets all over the place, but right next to your bed, all that you see is a nightstand. And on this nightstand, all you see is a pitcher with water and some prayer beads and more religious paraphernalia. But there doesn't seem to be anything weird tool related. Like, there's no scalpels, there's no pliers, there's no weird nonsense going on.
No blood. Okay.
Yeah, no blood
Definitely a
either.
cult, then.
I think we've been baptized against the wills, not sure.
So,
Looks like it.
Lex, You look around to see the kobold trying to make sense of where he is, and also just noticing how small he looks in that bed. And what do people see when they look at you?
I'm yellow, sometimes a bit brown gargoyle. I'm a bit small for a gargoyle, but still medium sized, I guess. Character is a bit. He's a bit lanky. He's a bit on the thin side, and sometimes he crawls on all fours using his hands. But he's working on it. He's trying not to do that as. He looks a bit grumpy, I'd say. I think that's enough for now.
When you examine your garbs that you're wearing, you notice that they're kind of loose fitting. This was definitely not made for you. This clearly come from like a supply of these kind of medical garbs that they are using, and you think that all four of you were brought here at the same time, and whatever happened to you all happened to the four of you, seeing how similar all of your collective circumstances are. And Weiss, what do people see when they look at you?
In normal conditions, they would see a very average person. Like, when you imagine a human, that's pretty much what he would be. But since he was lying in bed so long, his long hair is pretty much a mess at the moment, and he would just look around, say nothing, and then he would cover himself with a blanket, going back to sleep.
The most realistic reaction in this entire group.
Somebody
Yes.
feel like reading a good night story for him.
Must be
I
a weird
would-
dream seeing a gargoyle
I
in
want
a
to-
bed.
I want to look around and see if I can find my vest. I've lost my vest.
Are you saying they must investigate?
Investigate.
Curiously, when you look around you, you do not see, like, what you would expect to find in these circumstances, which is a chest with all of your belongings separated and put aside for you beside your bed. That is what you would accept, but that is not what you find. Around you, you find nothing that you recognize as being yours, rather.
Where's the stuff?
Yeah, exactly. You ask to yourselves, where is our stuff? That they should be here with me, or close to me, in a backpack, in a chest, in a drawer, somewhere, but there is no clue of your belongings being close to you. The drawer in the nightstand is not nearly big enough to carry all of your belongings. You assume, rightfully, that they have been taken away for now.
Waldak will grab the back of his robe, holding it closed, and jump out of bed and start looking around to see if there's somewhere else in the room.
Okay?
Well, assuming we've been taken against our will, clearly they don't want our stuff, so we can do something and escape.
So,
So we might escape before that guy comes back. He seems rather interested in us, so maybe not good to stick around.
It did sound like there was going to be quite a few people that he was trying to get, so...
Time is of the essence. We must hurry.
Wake up that normal-looking human guy.
No.
What's a normal-looking human? They all look strange to me.
True.
So, as some of you jump out of bed to start looking for your things, and failing to find your things because they're not there, you start looking for anything that you can use in any way, shape, or form as some kind of defense or escape assisting mechanism or tool. But before too long, the tiefling that had been in the room when you guys woke up returns, and alongside him, also you see two other persons. a tall hobgoblin and another tiefling, a woman. They all come back into the room, and the male tiefling, he just says, "Look at that! They're up, and wow, they're already up on their feet." And hold on, everyone, just calm down. Please return to your beds. Sit down. We need to. Well, I need to run some examinations on you all. Just a moment. And the guy, the male tiefling, he runs off to a corner of the room and grabs a bag that looks like a doctor's bag, and he starts pulling like a stethoscope and some other examination tools, and starts going person through person, doing mostly just a cursory exam on you guys, just observing from far away at first before touching or anything. Meanwhile, the female tiefling and the hobgoblin, they look at one another, then back at you, and the tiefling, she starts speaking. So, it would seem we didn't even need to bother with a ritual.
Excuse me, lady. Are we not supposed to be up from what I gathered? What's happening? Where are we?
Definitely a cult.
This... what? Cult? No.
Well, we're wearing strange robes. We have no idea where we are. You're talking about rituals.
Well, you are in Novarcana. You are in the infirmary ward in the sanatorium. You are wearing robes because we were unsure whether or not you needed to go through a resurrection ritual.
I clearly never were in a hospital before.
Resurrection? I don't recall needing a resurrection.
Have we been dead?
Well, you were according... Well, I don't know the details, but your gunnout says that you were slain in combat, trying to fight a titan, so I think I'll let him explain. And she looks through the hobgoblin, and he looks at all of you. Well, these past few days we were running some incursions during the Fivnit, and you were fighting a titan, and all of you were slain. I brought you back here, thinking you might be dead, but apparently something happened that, well, you didn't die, clearly.
We were just slightly dead.
Or maybe you did die.
I'm not going to suddenly get the power to defy fate, am I?
Well, to be fairly honest, I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened to you all. By all rights, you should be dead. Although, then again, we're not entirely sure what happens when someone dies during the Fivnit, especially during the first day like you did. So, well, there's a lot of weird circumstances surrounding your hypothetical demise. Something brought you back.
Wait, so there's just a day of the year that we can come back from the dead?
At which point the doctor that is examining you, the male tiefling, he says, "Well, yes, everyone knows. It's much easier to resurrect people during Thursdays."
On Thursdays?
It's impossible to resurrect anyone on Mondays.
Am I right, fella?
Goes
Thursdays.
back to sleep.
Thursdays would be the fictional Sunday.
Taco Tuesday, more like Resurrection Friday, am I right?
At which point the hobgoblin just continues. In any case, I'm glad to see you're back up to your feet. Thankfully, the titan that you did slay, also slayed you. I'm afraid we didn't manage to capture its essence, So, and as it happens, you know, they're all back, so we need to do it all again.
God.
Waldek looks around and does any of this sound
Hold on.
familiar?
Why do you need to capture Titan's essence?
What do you mean? Why do you need that? That's what we have been doing the past year.
I don't have any recollections of that.
Head in.
Last thing I was walking down the road, I was headed back from the church.
Wait. You don't remember coming to Novarkana, or rather, being recruited to come and become scholars and wardens?
I don't know anyone in this room.
Yeah. So.
Oh. Well, it would seem you have potentially lost your memories. Vitalilis, could that be some effect of this? And the Tiefling just says, well, as far as I'm aware, you shouldn't even be alive, so at this point, I suppose something was taken away in return for you guys being brought back to the world of the living. So,
Or you just kidnapped us and now you just coming up with a bullshit story.
Yeah, where's those stuff?
the hobgoblin goes, well, we tried to recover some of it from, well, during the battle. We managed to recover some of your gear. The rest was lost, but we have it here with us back at the workshop.
We were all level 20 last week.
Yes, I remember that part, yes.
So when we're going to get experience for killing Titans?
I think we lost the experience. That's why I'm saying we were level 20 and now we're level 1.
You got squished back to level 1 if you want.
Well, if you really don't remember anything, I don't think it's very prudent that we just send you back out into the field to slay Titans. I think it's best we take things slow, give yourself some time to recover, and also, well, enjoy life
If
again.
we knew each other for a year, what do you know about us?
I do not
Especially
know
also
any,
without the backstory whatsoever.
I don't know anyone in this room.
Well,
Oh no, we've lost a year of our memories. That means we're going to be forced to murder each other.
well, all four of you have been traveling together and being in this warding business for the better part of the last year. It's rather a shame you don't remember one another. You all work very well as a group. Worked. Work? Well, I suppose.
Work it.
I guess we'll see.
I guess we will see indeed. Well, Mrs. Voldraff, is it alright if I, if I show them around again? And the female tiefling, she just looks at all of you and says, well, alright, at least the worst is past us. You are back. We didn't need to spend anything resurrecting you, and, it's a
You
shame.
say the worst is past us, but you just admitted that the Titans will be back.
As they do every year. Well, although I
The fifth is nothing to mess with.
Is there a
suppose...
weak point on their back?
Come again?
Just asking. Is there a weak point on their neck? Behind?
Does
Which-
it grow an orange light, maybe?
No.
Which video game will we reference again? Join in next time.
Well, I suppose I'll let you accompany Professor Jurgenad, and I suppose he'll fill you back in on all of those things you have forgotten. Meanwhile, well, I think we need to get down to some research to figure out exactly what happened to you all.
First, madam, we need some clothing. I can't go around here in a robe.
Oh, absolutely. We'll provide that to you. Vitalilis, please, could you fetch these gentle persons back their clothes, and the male tiefling just says, "Oh, all right." He puts away his medical stuff and just rushes off, and then eventually comes back with a bundle of clothes that fits you.
Ah, yes, my loincloth and nothing else. Perfect, I'm dressed. Sorry.
Wonderful.
Magnificent.
So,
Yes, our clothes that we wore when we died. That looks perfectly. That looks like in a perfect condition. Yes.
No bloodstains, no squishing, no nothing.
well, these are some other clothes that we have procured for you, but your clothes, your armor, everything you were wearing when you were slain, that's beyond repair at this point.
Does this mean that the annoying halfling doesn't have his vest?
My vest, it was such a good vest.
Well, I'm really sorry, but the academy will supply with a new one. Hold on. And he brings you your clothes, and the three of them, they give you all a moment so you can get changed in your own little spaces. There's like a curtain you can pull around your beds so you can dress yourselves. And surprisingly, even more so than everything else up until this point, when you start to change yourselves, you take out your medical garbs. You notice, all four of you, something very weird. You all have a scar across your chest.
That's
Ah,
when
yes.
the dragon took our heart.
Yes, I was going to say that.
There are
There are
Yes.
reasons.
large
Fourth beginning of a game.
large claw marks coming down your chest. And this scar, it does look very fresh, but it doesn't seem to hurt all that much. It is warm to the touch, and it burns just the tiniest bit, enough to remind you that it is there, but otherwise it doesn't particularly hurt. These are like 3 claw marks coming down across your chest. All 4 of you have this in your chests.
Maybe we should look out for a guy with claw marks with a claw matching our claw marks. That seems a bit suspicious.
So everyone who has gloves, you're going to come and compare now. I see.
Knick-Knack looks down at its hands.
Yeah, I think you're a bit too small.
We found this. We found the suspect. He has claws.
Don't
I
call
don't
it out.
believe that it was him.
Well, first of all, we need to believe whatever happened in the first place.
Yes. I'm still a bit suspicious on that one.
Well,
Why
clearly
would I
they can
go
solve
and
it
kill titans? That doesn't make sense.
ostensibly. You had a year of practice killing them.
You too.
Yep, I know. It doesn't really seem like something I'd be doing. Sounds pretty neat, though.
I just want to go back to my library
Your
and stand on the
library.
roof. It's a gargoyle thing. You wouldn't get it.
Ah,
Why would they even put a stone in the bed?
No
They must be
question.
delusional.
Maybe it's the side effect of getting resurrected. Who knows?
I mean, are they?
Why does it
Are
speak?
gargoyles stoned when they do things?
During the day, I think, yes, nights we are free to do whatever.
Oh, the mechanics of gargoyle is that you just exist. You have some gargoyles do have the ability to full on turn into stone, but they're few and far between.
That's great, but what are your sources?
They all went extinct when they all turned to stone mid-flight and crashed.
Oh no.
My source is
Mhm.
that I made it the fuck up.
Some of us get really stoned sometimes. Yes, yes.
So, once you guys are ready, fully clothed, or as clothed as you can be, I imagine, the three persons that were attending to you, they seem to agree to let you all let the hobgoblin in charge of you all, and he just looks at all four of you. Well, if you will, then please come along. I'll try and pretend you don't already know all which I'm about to show you.
Well, that will be pretty easy because we don't.
Yes,
Oh,
but
I think they need to pretend because their brain says otherwise.
yeah, my reality is that you're pretty accomplished slayers, so I wouldn't even need to tell you that you're in the infirmary, but oh well. In any case, are you ready?
Sure.
I'm ready.
Alright then. Please come along. And he starts taking you out of the infirmary, and when you leave the infirmary, you see that it's one of the many areas of the Novarkana Academia. The academy is a large building built next to a waterfall, and standing at the very edges of it, you can look down the waterfall and see the entire city of Merging off into the distance. However, you do know, more or less, that it is an hour hike back down to the town of Merging. Not that you need to go there anyways, but it's good to keep in mind. He keeps showing you around the academy, mostly just glossing over stuff. He's not entirely sure how much you guys do remember, but he just presents the main things to you all. Well, over there is the range, where we train people in all kinds of martial arts, and also there's the Department of Warding, where Higgle will tell you more about Titan slaying whenever you're ready to get back into it. Over there, that's the workshop. That's where we, well, mostly deal with everything we need to come up with in the field to deal with Titan slaying and everything else that we have been doing as of late. In fact, eventually you have to talk to Dren about. Well, he has a little assignment, and I would never dream to put it to the four of you, but seeing as you could use a refresher, maybe it'll be useful to send you his way. Over there is the bureau, where we deal with most of our matters of state, diplomacy, and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, you get to go there more often, especially when we need to travel around to other kingdoms. But as it is, I don't think you really need to for the current moment. Behind us, you can see, is the sanatorium, where the infirmary is at, in case you guys need to do any kind of healing or resurrecting. Although hopefully it won't come to that, just as it didn't this time around. And over there, as you can see, that wide area, those are the temples. It's what we call all of the classrooms, because not every classroom is like one another. The high tower, that's the Temple of Arcane Arts, for all you arcanists' needs and necessities. The wide field behind that is the Temple of Elemental and Primal Studies, for druids and so and so. The stairs down lead to a dungeon where we have the Temple of the Occult Theory and Research, and furthermore, that church-looking temple is a Temple of Theological Mysticism. In fact, I think people there will fondly remember you, Wildak.
Oh, well, that's good.
So this is about it. I do actually suggest we go towards the workshop since your stuff is there anyways. Could also, well, I suppose reintroduce you to Dren and get on with this first assignment he has for you all. Or, not necessarily for you, but he has a thing he needs to do and, well, do you have any questions?
I have lots of questions, but I don't believe that there's any that you can answer.
Oh, try me.
I'm still confused as to how I got here and why would I join this group and just he seems to just kind of his eyes go blank and he's looking around trying to figure out what the words to say.
Well,
Same.
you see, as it is, we every now and then we put on. Well, there are people that come to Nova Arcana to study the matters of the arcane or just anything else they need. This is a large learning institution. Every now and then, however, we do see people out and about in the world at large that really shine in their deeds, and we invited them to come to Nova Arcana to help us in this endeavor. In fact, I've never even, well, didn't cross my mind that I needed to introduce myself as well. I'm Koren Yurgonod. I'm the deputy headmaster of the academy. Previously in the infirmary, you were being treated by Auron Vitalilis, the head physician, and the tiefling, she's Tarsus Valdraff. She's the headmistress of the academy. Now, I, as the deputy headmaster, I look into those things that namely need addressing whenever it comes to the world at large. I'm also the head of the bureau. What with... I suppose I'll explain everything from the very beginning. Every Fivenit, some titans, they show back up in the world, whether or not we have slain them before. We have learned recently that you can absorb their essence upon slaying them. Not necessarily absorb their essence, but steal it from them. Well, not necessarily steal either. Well, yeah, I suppose we do slay them, so at that point you can call it whatever you want to call it. We take their essence, and while their essence is being held elsewhere, they do not come back during the Fivenit. So, our job, as of currently, has been reading the world of Titans, as they care not for the living, and they're creatures of pure chaotic energy. They're here just to cause harm. Or, as best as we can tell at least. Nobody has been able to find the proper use for them.
And that always happens during the 50. You have to stay out of the dark. The things are out there. Especially in the last 50 years.
Exactly. Ever since the resurgence, that's when those things started happening. Those titans didn't exist before, but after the resurgence, they started being everywhere. That's why we have started hiring more and more people to be wardens, like yourselves. Or, yeah, like yourselves, have been wardens for the past year. I cannot pretend to know your reasons for having wanted to join previously, but I suppose at the time what really called you to us was the prospect of helping the world at large, but also all the learning potential you would have here at Nova Arcana. So I think that's what attracted you all previously. Although, the circumstances were different. You were back in your homes or in whatever places you were before. I don't know how the prospects looked for you before you came here, but it would seem like back then you had an intention to join. Now, today, after waking up and learning you had previously died in service of the Academy, I don't know that your interests remains aligned with what they were a year ago.
Well, it's certainly changed at this point. I hate to say this, but the other fellas here were talking about kidnapping and stuff, and I don't know you. You say you know me, but I've not seen anywhere where maybe we're listed on a roster or something.
There is a good way to at least to check one of the things you're talking about. You're a mage, right?
Me? I'm not a mage.
No, not you. I'm not talking to you.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, I do know some things about the arcane, yes. Why is that?
Would we be able to show us the scene of the fight? Where we died, apparently.
Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid I won't be able to. You didn't perish here, you perished in another continent.
That's convenient. For your story.
Actually, that's kind of the exact opposite of convenient. That sounds very inconvenient.
I'm sarcastic, sorry. I'll be more clear next time.
What continent?
Well, we have eventually learned that one of the largest, most meaningful titans of them all lies in the abyss, in Korund. So we went over there to try and fight it, but we were outmatched, I imagine. Once I thought you had been slain, I tried to gather your bodies and bring you back.
Can you tell us what's with the claw mark on our chest? They look a bit too artificial, I guess.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what is up with that. We have looked over you all, tried to do some cursory examination during these past 3 days, but we didn't really find much. Or at least what we find we don't really understand, but whatever... Well, the titan that felled you clearly left those marks, and I imagine it has something to do with why you didn't die.
Great.
Although, unfortunately, I wish I could tell you more about it, but even I don't know what exactly happened there. Well, any other questions I might answer?
I think you filled in things for the moment, at least.
Well, very well then. If at any moment you have any questions, feel free to come to me. I'll try and fill you in as best as I can. And he leads you all into the workshop. You see that this is a large area full of like little rooms where people are trying to come up with all kinds of innovations. And there's just all kinds of gadgets and junk spread all over the place. Knick-knack. Eventually, as you're being guided and into a room that reads the Department of Innovations, you get led inside that room and you see it there. There is a gnome that is really puzzled looking at Robit, your little robotic companion that you have built.
Rusty, yes. I've actually given him a name at some point.
Ah, there you go, Rusty then.
Yeah. Ah, Well, I guess that's something. I rush over to the gnome and my robotic companion.
And the gnome, he just looks at you and says, "Oh, hello there, Knick-Knack. I managed to, well, fix whatever I could of him, but, well, I'm not you, so I really don't know what you did to it, but I tried to make it work as well as I could. I might have broken things in the process, so I hope you don't mind. In any case, it's functioning now, and, well, you can take the time and make it just like it was before."
Ah, yes, thank you. I say, absolutely trying to not betray the fact that I have no idea who I'm talking to.
Hey, Kobold fella, does your robot record stuff? Maybe it has some information that can confirm or deny the whole story about the Titan and being resurrected.
I believe it's higher drive for fried.
Hmm. That would be
mean-
convenient.
Conveniently, for some reason.
Yeah, weird. Does it do that?
Um, I don't think it projects anything. If it didn't, I'm going to look over Rusty and see if I can sort of discern that a year has passed since I last looked at him and remembered things.
It definitely looks different from what you remember from a year ago. There's definitely been several like little scratch marks here and there that weren't there before, but also a lot of stickers have been taped onto it, and you don't recognize most of them. All of them are in different languages, but you think these are like little "I have been to this kingdom" kind of stickers.
I think your robot has been used as a tourist attraction, or like in classrooms to be shown off. I don't know. Looks like it.
Well,
Looks like a fridge.
clearly something's happened. I'm going to climb on Rusty and pilot him back to the group to not be so low to the ground while talking to people.
Fair enough. You pilot your robotic companion back, and he behaves as you expect. There is a little bit of a clunkiness to it. Some things you don't expect it to do that it does, and you're not entirely sure what exactly has happened. But indeed, it doesn't operate as you remember. Maybe
How big is that robot? Sorry. Like kobold size or 3 times in size?
It is a medium creature.
Oh,
So imagine,
it's about as
Yes,
big
it's
like
up.
a Great Dane.
yeah,
okay.
consider a large dog.
Yes.
It is a medium. A large dog is a medium creature. A medium dog is a small creature, and a small dog is a tiny creature.
Got it.
Okay.
Size categories make sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you imagine that indeed something had been added or removed to Rusty. Potentially features that you had at some point installed that were tried to be recovered, but then just kind of fizzed as the gnome inventor tried to look into it, but couldn't really get it to work. Because Rusty is a very, very, very custom model, and only you would know the ins and outs of it.
True.
So the gnome looks at all of you and says, "So, what are you going to next? I think well, I heard that the Titans are back, so I think you're off to some more Titan slaying, isn't it?" At which point the hobgoblin says, actually, there has been an incident. This fine gent.
Where the incident?
Yes, they are the incident. They have been fighting a titan. They were slain, but they were brought back. But apparently they lost their memories, so they don't remember ever being part of the academy. At which point the gnome looks at all of you, and you see there's a hint of surprise as he hears that. Oh, so you don't remember me at all?
Who this?
Sorry.
Not that clear. Sorry.
What
Well-
was your name again?
Oh, that's fine. I suppose I mostly just talked to Nick Nack anyways. All of you had other things to attend to. I'm Dren. Dren MacVender Fitzsmith.
Dren it is.
Well, hello, I guess, again.
Well, I mean, I have already met you, so...
Yeah, that's the confusing part.
Yeah,
Well-
conversation's going to be awkward for the next while, I think.
Mm-hmm. Don't take it personally.
I'll try not to. I mean, I never did before. I have other things to keep me occupied anyways.
You go do those other things then. We'll try to remember stuff, I guess.
Oh, no rush. I mean... You do you.
Oh,
And the Hobgoblin says, as a matter of fact, Dren, that little project you had going on, seeing as they need a little to get back on their feet, I suppose you could aid them with that. And Dren, he immediately pipes up and says, oh, with the flying ship. Oh, absolutely, I would most certainly appreciate the help. I mean, having legendary Titan Slayers like yourselves helping me feels like a little bit overpowered, but sure, I don't mind.
don't let it get to your head.
I'll try not to. Well, I suppose I need to let you in on everything, huh? At which
Yup.
point the Hobgoblin just says, well, I'll leave you to it then. You let them know what they need to do. Also, if I recall correctly, you were also partnering up with Strata 2 for the tower research thing. I didn't introduce them to her again, so I'll leave that to you. And the Hobgoblin just kind of nods to you all and excuses himself. And the gnome looks up at all of you. Well, you see, I've been trying to figure out the secret for flying ships, and I have come up with something. I am super certain it'll work. I just need a few things more. I suppose you don't remember what wordwood is, do you?
No.
Oh well, it's
Recall knowledge.
he's about to explain to you what it is.
I'm smart. I think. What do I need to roll?
If you really want to know, you can go ahead and give me a nature check. Make it secret though.
Alright, here we go.
So whenever you want to make a secret check and you click on your
Blind jam roll, yes, I
yeah,
remember.
blind GM roll.
How do we do a secret room?
When you click on this skill in your thing, in your character sheet, it'll pop up a little window, and then if you click blind GM roll, it'll roll secretly, so you don't know what you have rolled.
What skill are we doing?
Nature.
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 Ah, good. I'm so good at those. I understand. I know all the nature.
I know
Look
negative
at me.
nature. Nice.
Same, actually. Oh no. There it is. Blind GM. I know what I'm doing.
So, all of you kinda start fumbling for answers. Like, oh yeah, wordwood. It's that wood from a tree that is used to make wooden things. But to everyone's surprise, Knick-Knack, you do remember wordwood, weirdly enough.
Hooray!
It is a specific wood that is half alive, more so than regular wood. And not necessarily alive in the sense that it's sentient, but alive in the sense that it's much, much easier to be enchanted for all kinds of purposes and things. Wordwood...
It's not screaming when harvested. Got it.
Yeah, it's not... It doesn't scream in pain.
Oh. Okay.
Wordwood has this property that allows it to be more easily enchanted. And not only that, Knick-Knack, you also remember that Wordwood didn't used to be a thing before the resurgence. It was when the resurgence happened that this chaotic high magic started spreading around the realms, that several places in the world started growing Wordwood. It's still mostly rare and hard to acquire, but it's a new thing that people have been trying to figure out and work with for the past however long.
Ah, yes. Living magic trees.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Right.
And this magic tree, living tree, I had a thought, the wildest idea, and I think I know how to go about it. I just need a little bit more, so we need to go harvest some. There's a little bit of a hiccup, however.
There always is.
Yes. The closest place to here to Mergin that we have Wordwood is in the nearby forest. The problem is that, well, being as close as we are to civilization, there are druids around and abound, so they look very, very, very poorly onto us harvesting excess Wordwood. But, thankfully, I guess, there is Wordwood that's, well, what with this whole enchantment thing, it actually has come alive, except it has come alive as an undead tree. So,
Undead tree?
yeah, imagine that it's a zombie tree, so the druids will be super okay with you putting it down.
They try
have to
and eat
make
the
it-
brains of trees?
I have no idea.
And you need us to make it undead, dead, right?
Well, I need you to go and slay it so we can harvest it.
Hooray! A task.
Yes. Well, I don't know much about trees and nature, what with, I'm an inventor. I am not a druid or... I'm not part of the elemental and primal studies people, but I do know a thing or two. And... well, I suppose we can discuss a little bit more on the way, if you don't mind going. By the way, forgot, I've been asked to hold on to your things, except that your things have been broken beyond repair. So I've supplied some new things for you that you can take from that workbench over there.
All right.
Loot. Let's go.
And-
Press E, loot all.
Yes.
And pretty much you have
Be
your
over encumbered.
starting equipment now. Your weapon, your armors, your starting equipment all together.
Got it.
It's such a shame we took all of our money with us. Except for, actually no, that sounds entirely plausible considering what players do.
Yeah.
Well,
We have several thousand platinum pieces in a bag of holding.
last I heard, You had you spent a lot of time around, just going from place to place. So I don't know. Suppose you never really invested that much here in Mergen. Or maybe you did. Actually, I don't know.
I send my gold back to my mom like a good player character.
Oh,
How lovely.
And then she buys you a large Snorlax doll.
Yes. And some TMs sometimes.
By the-
Mostly berries.
By the way, well, Mr. Jurgenot told me that I needed to get you back up to speed with, well, everything since you've forgotten. And how you don't remember being wardens at all?
No.
do not.
Well, that sours matters a bit. Well, wardens like you are or were, hopefully still are a cut above Agranteers. You're hired by the Academy, and we mostly pay you back not with money, but by allowing you to use the everything the Academy has to provide. So taking classes, using the library for research, all the great things. Also food and lodgings. So that's great.
Now suddenly it makes sense why I'm a warden, yes.
That sounds like a corporate town. Should be illegal. I'm shutting this place down.
Well, I definitely would not let Professor Jurgenot hear you say that.
Sorry.
Well, in any case, there's a lot of things we need to show you with the Academy still, and you have plenty of time to do that, but I suppose we get cracking on this whole wood business first.
Alright.
Alright, let me get my things. And the gnome, Dren, goes and gets some of his things as well. Put on his travel cloak, that's so he can go on with you guys. And he starts leading you out of the academy and finally back out into the fields. That you can start going westward towards the nearby forest.
Okay.
Can I... Oh, question. Can I summon my Eidolon? Maybe he remembers. I don't know how exactly pet memory works. Maybe he knows stuff and maybe his memory didn't get wiped.
No, clearly it too had a concussion.
Fine.
Well,
I mean, I got something from Rusty over here, so I guess if you can do a thingy,
you
I'll
can
just check if he's still alive at least. I don't...
consult the spirits.
well, you can definitely manifest your Eidolon. He's definitely not alive as part of his nature.
You know what I meant.
But he is there, he still exists. However, not... That's the wrong song. Not alive as it is. He seems to have also been affected by the same whatever happened to you all. And there's something in him that you don't remember. He also has those claw marks on his chest.
God damn it.
He doesn't have 18 levels worth of evolutions that you don't recall.
So, Lex, Melos,
Yeah.
in your mind's eye, does your Eidolon talks back when you talk to him? Does he converses with you and such?
Yes. Hello.
So he replies back whenever you summon him or manifest him. Well,
Oh.
I really
I
don't
can do
remember
that.
anything.
It's okay. Oh, hi. Been a while. No, I don't remember anything. How did we get here? I'm hungry. That's it.
Alright. So, your Eidolon is as confused as you are. And it kinda sorta makes sense to a degree, because it is, as part of this connection that you have, he's an extension of you.
I know. Worth a try, though.
Always worth a try. So, all of you start marching westward towards the forest. It's a few hours worth of travel. Not nearly enough to be a whole day. But you do walk with this gnome out into the fields for a while. During which time, is there anything you're asking or inquiring with him? If anything at all.
I think I'm just walking. I'm trying to still take this all in. I mean, less than an hour ago, I was lying unconscious in a bed and lost a year of my life.
Yeah.
My character's mostly talking to himself with his Eidolon thing in his head, so, you know.
Our group only consisted of us four, right? There's no one else we can ask about what us, I guess.
A gnome.
I'm asking him,
Ah, okay.
talking to him.
Sorry.
I'm trying to see if people have personal connections in here.
Not that I know of. It was only the four of you. Well, the six of you if you count Rusty and the Eidolon.
Right, but
Jeff,
do you
the
know
Eidolon.
what we were taking from the academy? You said, you don't pay, but you provide services. Do you know what services we were using?
Well, actually, I didn't really spend that much time talking to you all. You were always so busy and always up to something, so it was really hard keeping up with you guys. Well, you did spend a lot of time doing research, that much I remember. In fact,
Is
that's...
there perhaps a professor from the academy who would have known us well?
Probably Professor Higgle.
Figures.
Professor of Researchology.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the head of the Department of Warding. He's the one who pretty much taught you everything you know about warding, from what I recall.
And he's about to do it again.
Well, I mean, to a degree, perhaps. Well, in any case, from what I recall, and from some conversations here and there with Knick-Knack, it mostly consisted of him just telling you, in his gruff voice, like, oh, go on into the fields and try and find out the weaknesses of the enemies, or something like that. Mostly, you heard about some Titan somewhere, and you started doing research. You would lock yourselves into a library and just research for days. And then eventually you just would go and fight those Titans. And he would always impart that thing of, you have to exploit the weaknesses. And go on and on and on about that.
Locking myself in a library sounds like my characters. Yes, that's me.
In fact, it is because of Higgle that I came across some knowledge about what we're about to face. This zombie tree thing. Because,
Fill us in.
yeah, I didn't expect you to be coming along with me.
Oh, what knowledge did you gain? Are we about to fight?
Yes. I thought I made that clear before. Didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Alright.
It was assumed based on the zombie tree, yes.
Well, you are about to fight a zombie tree thing.
Well, it is a tree, so they usually don't move.
This one
The
does.
magic and the zombie, so, you know, maybe this one does.
Yeah, it does move, but it's slower than you all, so you can easily outrun it. From what I recall, it... Well, as any tree, will be easy to fell if you're, chopping it down with an axe. And as any tree, definitely don't like fire. But it is a tree, so, trying to crush it or pierce it won't really help. Or at least won't be nearly as effective. And this tree is, what with its many branches, it's particularly dangerous if you're going to be moving a lot around it. So definitely don't do that. And also do keep away whenever possible, because it spits poison or something. And
Poison?
Of course it does.
yes, I don't remember exactly what Hegel said, if it was poison or something, but it has those. He said it has those glands or sacs or something hanging from it,
Ooh.
and if you hit it in a specific way, you can pierce those sacs and they explode, and there's poison that happens. So that's something to look out for.
Oh god. Oh, sorry, did you say piercing is bad or good? I forgot.
Piercing is bad. At best, you'll get tree sap.
God.
So, does that all sound good and fair? Do you think you can handle this? I mean, I would never think to doubt you, but
I have yet to lose to a tree, so I hope to keep that streak going.
well, good. I would hope you don't, because that wouldn't be good. In any case, we're closing in. I think this is the region Hegel had told me about, and he, as you're walking through the forest, he kind of crouches and asks you all to crouch down as well, and starts moving forwards slowly, and he just goes like, okay, we need to approach it very carefully, very slowly, that's so he doesn't see us coming, and we might be able to get to a drop on it. Thankfully, I know a path, I've been told. If we go this way, we can come from it from across the river, so there will be a river between us, although I don't know if that will be good for you. We can go the other way, where there's no river, but it's easier to sneak in against it. So, what do you guys think would be better for us to do?
I don't think a river would be good. I'd get swept away.
We are small, most of us.
I don't think I can throw my sword at it. I need to be close.
Yeah, staffing sounds good to me too.
Alright, close it is then. Let's go this other way then. And he starts guiding you all towards where he says the tree is at. I'll need everyone to go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Hidden?
I guess.
Hidden? Not hidden?
Public?
I guess hidden, because we don't know how sneaky we are.
Oh, I know how sneaky I am.
Yeah, this one you can make hidden. Might as well.
Or blind gem?
Yeah, blind gem roll.
Sonic was rolled. I have no idea.
Okay, let's remember how to...
How to
find
stealth.
things. Stealth.
By the way, I suppose I need to
That
ask.
button, GM blind roll, and I guess the robot stealth 2.
What in the absolute heck is the party formation?
What?
The party formation.
Who are
Who,
these what
who is in
what are we
front?
talking about my information? We don't know these people, so you know. Information.
We're just
we
following the
are...
gnome.
Yeah.
He's first, I guess. And we're somewhere
Yeah.
behind.
Yep.
I would guess the sword person is in frontest.
I think we are sending the two pets front line and throwing shit at it from behind. That's the plan, right?
So
I'm riding the pet, but yes.
Okay, fine, yes. Then my pet is the tank and you ride and we just throw shit at it. Magic shit.
So who's in front?
I
The
don't know.
gnome.
Hello.
Well, aside from the gnome.
followed by the
I'm
Medusi, I
there.
believe.
Alright. So the
Don't call me like that.
gnome is going in front, mostly guiding, and then whenever you guys get close enough, the gnome ceases being super in front. As you're approaching, there's a whole bunch of not sneaking that you guys do. In fact, most of you don't sneak at all.
Oh no.
Weirdly enough, the only one who seems good at sneaking here is the gnome, but mostly because at a point he says, "Just look for my footstep here in the grass and keep moving this direction." And he pulls on the cloak of his hood and he kind of vanishes as he becomes invisible. So imagine he's super good at sneaking. And
That's just unfair.
also Rusty. Mostly he seems to have some manner of like all-terrain mode and he's doing good on the dirt, but everyone else just absolutely stacks it. Well, actually, except for Lex. There's
Thank you.
there's something about, being an earth, a creature of the earth element in the dirt that just makes it easier for you to sneak around.
Rolling in the mud, yes.
However, unfortunately for you, all of your party mates are in the front, and they are not sneaky at all. They snap branches, they topple over things here and there, and they just make an absolute ruckus. And whenever you get closer to...
This path was not made for the people my size.
Imbeciles! I hate you, you gave away your position.
Whenever you get close-ish enough to the tree, you see this putrid, sickly-looking tree at the edge of a river, and then you just hear a very loud snap as it kind of turns upright and then immediately turns 180, facing you all, and it seems to let out a very languid snarl of like, "Ugh," that mostly is made just by the creaking and the ringing of the wood bark itself,
Bark, 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 bark.
because it's a tree. It doesn't have a mouth. It can't really scream in pain, but the bark does make very weird, angry sounds. And I would like everyone to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Can I summon my pet before we start? Or is
Shit.
it too late?
I will assume you always have it out unless you say you don't have it out.
Oh yeah, it's true. We had a walk together, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's generally how that stuff tends to work.
I have no idea. That's a free apparently.
Where's my HP showing on initiative screen that?
It does that. I guess it wouldn't make any sense to hide one's initiative.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, don't punch my roll.
Oh no, it's a large undead.
You can go first if you want. You see me go.
So, what we've initiative rolled, I'm not entirely sure how tie breaks in the initiative happen, but if we were to go by the classic rules,
Well, I guess it's wisdom now.
I actually don't know.
Well, I have a +3 to my initiative, and it has a +5, so I guess it wins.
Oh, okay. So the tree will get you go first. It looks, sees you all approaching. It's the bark snarls in anger. Potentially misdirected, as you have not yet done anything towards it, but it doesn't really cares. It's going to target the closest person, that being Knick-Knack.
Please, no, I'm only little.
It starts lumbering over towards you, using one of its actions. Then On the way over there, it picks up a rock from the ground with one of its branches and just lobs at you. Knick-knack. So,
This is entirely unfair.
it'll miss. Just kind of slide over the side of your mount, and the rock just flies over your head. But
Yay.
it's very close, very dangerous. It would not have been good to be hit by that. You can already tell. And in its anger, the tree will go again and throw another rock. This time at Vice.
Hmm.
And it also just flies by. Just goes super wide. As you guys, mostly all of you, hunker down and prepare to engage this zombie tree. So, Knick-knack, you are going first.
Yes. First thing.
If you can't target your token, you have to click on it and click Shift Z to cycle through tokens.
Well, I have mine selected. I'm just contemplating things.
Alright.
I presume sliding off of my. Is sliding off of Rusty one of my 3 actions?
It is, yeah. To mount or dismount a creature is one action.
Fair enough. So, yes, I'm going to ride Rusty into the middle of conflict. So I guess I will give him. I will use the command action as my first action, which gives him 2 actions. The first of which is to move. Then I think I have to do this action myself.
Which one?
I'm going to then make him explode in a ball of fire.
Rusty?
Yep. I think
Alright.
I do. Action, which I believe is 2 actions. So that happens. That button, I guess. So fire damage. And
Basic
a
reflex.
save.
Control creatures in an emanation. Alright. So, I'm the one who's making a saving throw, right?
Yes. DC 16 reflex.
Alright, let's
Or it takes 6 fire damage.
it fails.
Okay. Guess it takes 6 fire damage. Slightly less than double that.
No, it takes 11.
Yes. Then Rusty is going to use his second action to after exploding in a burst of fire, he is going to bash into it. I need to target my opponent, do I not? Yes. Then I roll. Nice.
Roll.
You almost throw yourself off the back of your mount with just how poorly calculated this strike is. And maybe it's not your Rubit who's rusty after being dead for 3 days or something like that. But you're slowly getting back into it.
I mean, everything's a bit wrong and wonky with him still, so it checks out.
And those would be
He
all of your
explodes
actions.
Nicely. Yeah, that is everything I should be able to do.
Alright. So, Lex, you're up.
Yup. Question. I'm still confused by act together because it's explained a bit weird and I can't find it on my character sheet. So how does it work?
It's not on your character sheet, because you never really drag the action there. But
Ah.
You and your Eidolon act as one. Either you take an action using the same number of actions as act together.
I put it in your
the other
character
takes a
sheet
single
now.
action.
Yeah.
So in the actions in your character sheet, you now have the act together.
Got it.
Okay, so basically, you both have a total of 3 actions to use between the two of you.
Okay.
That's what
So I
it
have to
does.
decide who gets 2 or 3 or 1 and the other one. Okay.
Yes.
So you choose how many actions you're spending on act together, and then one of you has to do an action that takes that many actions, and the other one can do one action.
That's nifty.
It can be.
Okay, so if I want my pet to attack, I do a 2, so he can move and slap, and my character can do the other one, right?
More or less, mostly because you can just do the act together. That so you attack while he moves, and then you use your 2 other actions to just have him do the attacks. The other attacks, if you want.
But if I just want one character to move or use up all 3, I don't need to do act together, right? So
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'll use one of your movements, one of your actions to move it, one of your actions to attack it, and another action for you to attack, I guess.
so I can just skip it. It's
You don't
Sorry.
have to click the button. You can just...
okay. That's what I'm asking, basically.
You just...
Great.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll move my pet first.
I feel like it would make much more sense if it was just like... You share all 3 of your actions between the 2 of you.
Yeah,
That
that's
would make
why I was
sense.
confused, basically. How far can my character go off?
25.
Okay.
Yeah, your Eidolon moves 25. You, on the other hand, I think only move 20.
I'm slow. Okay, and then I'll use my pet shield ability. My cantrip. Oh, give me a second. Protect companion.
Is it one action?
I think it is.
It
Does it
is.
say it's two?
If it has 1 square, it's 1 action. If it has 2
Yes.
squares overlapped, it's 2 actions.
It's
Okay,
one, it's
cool.
one.
Alright. So you can click the
How do
cast
I-
to show it in chat. All of that happens. You can in chat. We will see the spell card. You can click and drag the spell effect protect the companion onto your Eidolon to
Oh.
apply the effect onto it.
I see. Great, and I still have 1 left, so I can do.
Yeah.
Damn it. I don't have a single attack spell.
Well, not only do you not have any attack spell, if you had, it would cost you 2 actions. Well,
Yeah.
all attack spells you have are 2 actions, except for Magic Missile. You can choose to cast it as 1 action.
It's not worth it, right?
Not at all worth it.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably get more benefit out of your attacking thing attacking.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Actually, yeah, he needs to attack. Yeah, you're right. How do I do that?
So, first select the tree, hover over it and press the T key for target on your keyboard. Then open up your Eidolon's character sheet, so double click it, should open it up. And there you have the attack, the primary attack and the secondary attack. Choose which one you're doing and then click the strike, the first button.
Melee attack. Okay.
So you have 2 attacks.
I found it, but I can't click on it.
Come again?
Should I press on the melee button or?
No. You should, in the attack you want to use, press the strike +6 button.
Ah, okay.
So your primary attack deals bludgeoning damage, your second deals the slashing damage.
Let's go for this.
Alright, so that will miss with a 9. Which is also your last action. So that ends your turn. Wildak.
Wildak strides forward.
Mm-hmm.
Then he begins to cast a spell. And he blesses.
Alright, place the 5-foot emanation on the area that you want to bless. Okay.
There she be. And that's all 3 of mine.
So we are blessing Knick-Knack, yourself, and Broadway.
Yep. And any of my other allies who move into that area.
If they move there, they will be blessed.
Yep.
Alright. So that's your whole turn. Vice! What do?
Hello, it's me. I will, Oh, thank you, Foundry. I cannot do anything because I decided to reload.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Perfect timing.
What timing, yes.
It should be alright, it should reload fast.
I'm looking at it. And it looks back.
It's okay, you're glowing. So it's
Stop
I'm
looking into the
glowing.
abyss.
I gasp. Well, I will suffer the consequence of not specifying this, and I will spend 1 action to draw my weapon.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no, you already have your weapons drawn. You were approaching.
Never mind, I will not waste my action. I had it all this time.
Yep.
I
I
saw
mean,
it.
you were sneaking up on something with the intent to murder it, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will then spend 1 action to walk and spell strike.
Oh my god.
Because
And you're blessed.
And I'm blessed. Had no
Yep.
idea how to drag it on me. Oh, it just appeared. Thank you, the invisible man who controls this all.
Invisible statistic man.
You're
Don't make
welcome.
this religious, please. Thank you.
And I roll. And I think I use my
Ooh.
weapon. Oh. So now I roll my spell, if I remember correctly. Which was produce flame. But I use the thing of my sword. So 19. And I press damage of both, right, Cobalt?
I believe that would be how that would work.
Yep.
Huzzah. And huzzah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You, after you use spell strike, you can do so again until you recharge your spell strike as a single action.
Yes, and I know how to recharge it.
Good. So the tree will suffer from your long sword. Hold on, that's wrong. Is it wrong? No, never mind, it's not wrong. It suffers the full 9 damage, and from the fire, it will suffer that much damage. 10.
Nice.
Okay, so I guess it just takes 5 extra fire damage.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Here you go. I posted
We,
it.
we were told that information, yeah.
I mean, you don't know the mechanics implication of that, but you did know it was weak to fire.
Yes, I knew that much. It's just I'm understanding the mechanics.
Oh, okay, fair.
I guess it has weakness to fire 5, or however the rules work.
Oh no,
I
is
it-
need to
ca-
change the volume.
The countries are infinite in this one, right?
Yeah, cantrips are infinite.
Good. I was like,
Is in third
do I need
edition.
to mark it down?
So, now that you're all within reach, the tree,
Oh no.
absolutely pissed as it is that you had dare strike it, Vice, is going to absolutely pummel you as best as it can.
Come at me, brah.
So you see that it's like raising its branches to prepare to strike down at you, but what actually happens is that the roots, the foot of the tree, they just try to swipe at you with
Ouchies.
a lot of force, as a matter of fact. But it misses.
I'll use my sword to block it. That's a sturdy sword. Didn't break.
Very. And then he rears
Chop through its wood like butter.
up for yet another attack. And does so again. But misses.
Oh, it made me sweat for a second.
That was almost 20.
Yeah. This tree sucks.
And then it rears up for one final attempt at bringing you down. Ooh.
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
I'll jump over it.
It absolutely.
Over the roots.
Yeah, it absolutely cannot do anything against you.
Mondays, Emma.
So that was it for the tree's turn. Next up is Knick-Knack.
Yay. Just curiosity has me curious. Both my tokens have the... No, both my tokens do not have the
The blast.
bless this mess on it.
They should have. Hold on. Scroll back up to bless. Bless the robot. There you go. It's blessed now.
Excellent. Okay, well... I guess I'm going to spend one action jumping off the robot.
Should dismount.
Yeah.
Alright.
Then I will spend another action to...
Before you do that,
oh no.
as you use
Chance of opportunity.
Reach.
as you use a move action that is not step, you will suffer an attack of opportunity.
Apparently trees of attacks opportunity now.
This one does. So it just goes and
Well,
as you hop off from Rusty, it tries to swipe at you with a branch.
well, he doesn't know that, so...
And it critically hits.
Oof.
Finally.
Ow. Don't do that.
It super hard smacks you as you jump off of the robot. And you suffer 28 points of damage.
Are you
I
alive?
die.
You don't die. By 2 points you don't die.
Ooh,
But
rude.
you're absolutely knocked out.
Okay. Well, I will have my last action, since I'm not doing it physically myself. I will at least have Rusty have a go at this thing.
Can you do that?
Well, ostensibly I would have commanded him and dismounted at the same time.
That feels like a stretch, but I'll allow it.
That was the plan. It's just I wasn't expecting to die, so I didn't need to narrate that specifically.
That's fair, I think.
And you didn't die.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Let me damage myself. Okay, double click this character sheet.
So currently, Knick-Knack, as you have fallen down, you are currently dying 1.
Yay. Not sure if how to enable that on myself.
So on your main character sheet, you will see on the top left corner, there's the
Yes.
hit points, and there's the 4 dying circles. You can just click it to toggle dying.
There we go. The world's gone grey and everything's warbly. Goodness me, that's weird. Okay, so Rusty was at the same time going to hack whack and possibly chop that meat.
It hits the tree. Rusty can roll for damage. It shall deal 5 slashing to the tree.
And then it will use its second action to map attack. And do nothing.
Unfortunately, it misses.
Critically misses.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, nothing weird happens when you critically miss something.
Yep. At least with an attack.
Yeah. So, Knick-Knack, you're down on the mud. Lex, you're up.
I'm a faceball this tree. Do I do attack or damage?
Attack first.
Yeah, attack. If it hits, then damage.
Let's go.
So,
Ah.
you try and face bolt it, but you're too distressed by seeing Knick-Knack, this person that, in theory, you have been traveling together with for a year, but you barely know, just laying face down in the mud. And your face bolt goes wide.
You distract me. Stop dying. And then my pet attacks.
Alright.
Strike and roll. God damn it.
Yes, that will miss. Were you doing that as part of Act Together, or just...
Hey, from what I understand, I don't have to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't have to, but if you were to have used Act Together, you could have used 2 actions for you to attack with the face bolt and your Eidolon to do a 1 action, which would be the attacking thing, and then you would have 1 action left.
How?
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, then I would have done that, but probably just move closer to that now. Yeah, okay, next time. I don't have anything else.
Alright. So that's your turn.
Yup.
Wheel deck.
That is a very confusingly written ability.
I
Yes.
use 1 action concentrate to increase the bless by 5-foot radius.
Mm-hmm. So the bless is now 10 feet wide. No one else gets reached by it.
That is correct, but you know it's the wind-up for the pitch. And then I use a 2 cast action heal to heal Knick-Knack.
Alright, go ahead and cast it. So click the spell to cast it, and then you choose the 2 action, heal versus living on chat.
Yep.
And then you click healing, now in chat again, to roll for it. And Knick-Knack, you'll recover all of your hit points.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
You can press just heal on it and it
Don't-
should heal for
Don't
you.
Why
fall
do I-
down again, Knick-Knack.
Why do I feel like my patties have been whacked?
You lose the dying
You-
condition.
You notice that whenever Waldeck does that, he has white gloves on and he kind of rubs it across you and he says, "Dirty."
Oh my god.
Oh
It's
no.
Mr. Clean the gnome.
Do not have let it in the dirt.
Actually, Cobalt, you're down to wounded 1.
Yeah.
Maybe it added automatically once you remove the dying.
Yeah, it was... yeah, I think it did.
Vice.
It's time to cast Dimensional Assault.
Dimension what?
Dimensional Assault.
Oh, okay.
Boom. And I teleport. Very far away, yes, my range is so big.
Oh my wa, mo shinderu.
I cannot go far away, I'll go here. Hello.
You are now out of the bless radius.
I'm in
Oh, no,
Bless
you-
Radius.
You are.
Okay.
It is.
And I do a strike because that's how it works.
Yeah.
And it doesn't count as an action, the strike.
Got
Only
it.
the spell counts as well. Oh.
25.
You
I
hit.
barely read your dice, but okay.
That's the point.
Oh yeah, I know.
So, Vice, you just poofs into smoke, going to the other side of Broad, and then slicing at the tree with your sword and just channeling a lot of magical energy down into it, which
It's blood now.
slays the
What?
tree. You just you break off one of its whatevers, one of its roots, and the tree just kind of goes inert and then slowly but surely falls down to the side, falling and not moving thereafter. It is dead.
Nice.
And with that, combat ends. All of you just see now the gnome showing up as he pulls out the hood of his cloak and just looks at the handiwork and says, "Oh my, that was great! I mean, the entire everything was great. It is true what they say about you Titan Slayers. Although this is not a Titan, this is just a regular creature. Are you alright?"
I think I'll live.
"Oh, good. Could you guys give me a hand?" And he pulls out like a little gnome-sized hatchet and starts trying to chop at this tree.
I don't have an axe with me.
Oh,
I got a spear.
you have a sword. It kinda works.
Let me check what I have.
Well, in any case, you...
I'm not going to ruin my sword. If you want me to chop it down with my sword, you're getting me a new one.
Okay, alright, I'll do it myself. Well, in any case, this was
At
great.
least Rusty will help hacking it with clawness.
Sure. So Rusty goes to town and starts just clawing at it, trying to break it down. Oh my dog, what are you doing?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Why did you do this? Go away!
Sorry.
Fuck. My... Jeez.
What are you doing? You're playing around with spells you don't understand.
Sorry.
Oh, there's a variant for tokens, I see.
So, you start chopping down at the tree alongside Mr. Mac Vander Fitzsmith, and after chopping the tree down to a bunch of planks, pretty much, he puts it all into his bag of holding. And eventually, once you're all done with the tree, fully and completely, he looks up, kind of swipes off his brow, and says, "All right, that was a work well done. Thank you."
Yeah, we do fight very well together.
Yeah, that's what they've been always. That's what I have always been told. At least, most Vagranteers and Wardens, they don't stick together as a group if they don't fight together. So, you know, for you all to have been adventuring for a whole year, I would assume. In any case, all of you guys get 80 experience from felling this tree. I think that's correct.
Woohoo!
Yes, Queen. Where the... Oh, yeah.
Only another 50 of those to go.
Several many, yes.
Is that the right amount? It doesn't feel like a lot.
It isn't.
Well, it wasn't necessarily hard to kill.
Sure, but, you know.
Well, what really matters is that you're, you know, getting back up on your feet, relearning the tools of the trade, all that stuff. That's what really matters in the end.
This face, then.
Of course. So, shall we go back to Novarkada?
If we're done here, we have no reasons to stay.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely done. I mean, I don't even think we need to let the druids know that we felled the tree. Eventually they'll notice, if they haven't noticed already. So, yeah, I think we can just go. And he starts guiding you all back the way you guys came towards Nova Arcana.
All right.
I'll just look at Wildak while he's struggling with the earth and ask, need help?
No, I've got it.
It might take him a few centuries, but eventually he will clean the entire wilderness.
So as you're returning towards the academy, the gnome, he keeps on going. Well, actually, if you were to keep going up that road, up to a fork in the river, that's where there's a tower. I think you'll be coming here tomorrow, or maybe later tonight, I don't know, with Professor Stratato. She's really interested in that tower. They said an arcanist lived there centuries ago.
Oh, which arcanist?
I don't know. Well, that's rather one of the many things that she is trying to figure out. She's the head of the archaeology and anthropology department.
Ah,
Oh, I see.
And you know, as it is, there's a lot of story to be learned about old ruins and towers spread around the continent, but also, you know, arcanists, they like to put traps around their things, so she won't probably be coming alone, so she'll probably be hiring someone, but I imagine at this point might as well be you guys. Once again,
Well, before that, we need to decide if we're going to back to our business or whatever.
what business?
Wardens. We don't exactly remember everything, and I have no idea what these people plan to do.
Well, you can spend some time here, learning again the tools of the trade and doing that. If you don't want to become wardens, however, and you want to, you know, just be vagranteers, I still have need for something, really.
I personally would probably the learning might even bring us some old memories. Hopefully.
Such a shame what happened to your spellbook. All the spells were torn
It's
out.
here. No! It's empty! Who took my spellbook?
Well,
Who scribbles the spells?
Library lady, I'm telling you. Haven't returned it in. How long you've been out?
a year.
Damn.
Yes.
well, from what Jurgonad was saying, I think all of your stuff was destroyed in this one combat where you were slain, so maybe that's where your spellbook went. I mean, we did try to find replacements for your things, but
They found like 4 pages.
So does it has a name or anything?
the what?
Do Titan even have names? Titans. What Titan we were against? Do
What?
they even have names?
Well, that's the thing. I don't really know.
That's odd. I would figure people would start calling the names to know what Titan we're going against at least, or what Titan is coming.
Yeah, we give
Jeff the Jeffy.
catastrophe names, so it's
Yeah.
like hurricane
If you
thing.
just yell Titan is coming, then
Jeff Bridges is coming.
or the one that is easy to kill. That well,
Well, that's where all
no,
of
it's
well,
not easy, but easier to kill.
sure, but that's where you come
So
in.
you're allowed to give them names then? Great.
I suppose you can, if you haven't already. I mean, in the memories you forgot. What
Didn't
re-
remember forgetting them.
what really happens really is that whenever people see something that, you know, they don't know what it is, they might call it a Titan and then send a request to the academy, and then we get word from it, and then we send wardens to investigate and research, and then eventually defeat it. And normally
Do we have a handler?
a handler, well, that would be Mr. Or Hegel.
Do you have helpful cats that like to help people?
Well, there's the Professor Metrellis, maybe? Why?
Just asking.
You're really confusing me. Then again, I suppose you are very confused yourself. Yourselves, even.
Yes.
The void in my head is being replaced with memories from another universe. Making weird references. Help.
Oh, it's alright. I imagine you get back to speed in no time. If, for what it's worth, I'm really sorry that you don't remember anything. That sounds horrible. Well, in any case, if you want, I can introduce you either to, well, I suppose both of them, to Professor Hegel, who will tell you more about wardening, or to Professor Stratato, who's going to tell you more about the tower thing she has going on, which is a joint effort we're working on together. In fact, might as well go on and tell you. We think there is some remainders of Cosmore in that tower that we want to get.
I am intrigued now. What the hell remains of whatever you said is?
Cosmore, we are not entirely sure, because the tower is... Even though we know it's been there, we have not really been all that keen on go poking around in it. Just recently we have learned about all the ways in which we can use Cosmore. Well, I wouldn't want to bore you with the details, but pretty much we want to acquire it if it's still there.
Well, I assume your thing is going to take a long time, so why don't we just let you go when we're on the roads and we'll head there?
Oh, absolutely not! You need this Professor Stratato to go with you.
Ah,
I mean,
we're kind of
No,
doing a
I
thing.
can go whatever to any place I want to.
well, I suppose...
I
those
mean, I did hear that was trapped, so it's probably going to be awful.
mm-hmm.
Stop making sense.
I'm sorry.
Well, besides, I'm not entirely sure that you know even what to look for. I'm not going to stop you, I'm just saying that's very unwise.
Look, a tower. It must be what I'm looking for.
Might as well grab this professor. Who knows? Maybe she remembers something about us.
I hope that other people there remember things about us. If yes,
Well, something more useful than you've been too far together. That's what I mean.
They're not gonna tell you your backstory. You have to do it yourself.
I would, but it got deleted.
my inciting incident was the entirety of everything, and it got deleted. Help!
Oh no.
Well, in any case, I'll let you know whenever my project is done, and trust me, you will really want to look into this. In any case, and he kinda takes you along back to the academy. At this time, the sun has set, it's nighttime, and most of the professors, you find them in the dining hall, along with a lot of the alumni of the academy as it is. Thankfully and luckily, you find two of them there together. Or rather, that is what the gnome tells you. You don't recognize them, but Professor Hegel, the dwarf, head of the Department of Warding, is there, along with Professor Stratato, the head of the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology. She's a rat folk. And he rushes up to them, very, very, very excited. Do you remember these guys? they have just helped me with that project we've been working on for the Wyrm. And well, Jurgonaut says that they have forgotten, lost their memories. They don't remember us. So you know, you have another chance now. Professor Stratatu, you see that her face goes bright red, and she kind of just looks away a little bit. And Professor Higo just nods and says, "Ah, so you're fresh new to the academy once again then, is that so?"
It would seem so, sir.
You see that Professor Higgle, the dwarf, has a lot of battle scars all over the place, and he looks rugged, but you can see that despite the ruggedness, there's a shine to his eye that he's really just yearning to go into combat again eventually. Well, you were pretty great at slaying those titans, but if you forgot everything, I suppose I have to teach you the tools of the trade once again, my favorite part. Although I suppose Professor MacVender Fitzsmith has already told you a thing or two or three, right?
I bit, but I don't think that would be enough information.
Oh, that's...
Did he tell us anything?
Well, that's fair. In short, you are warriors, and as warriors, you grow by besting your foes and your opponents. The stronger, the better. However, more than warriors, you are also wardens, and wardens have a very specific thing they have to do, and that is to know your enemy. If you just throw yourselves into battle, you find yourselves woefully unprepared, but more so than that, you will also find that, well, you want to really learn as much as you could from fighting them without information in your hand. Essentially what that means is that you guys don't get full experience for winning combats. Half of that experience comes from researching the creature and exploiting all of which you have found about it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there is a nearby titan. Well, not nearly as nearby as I would like. Nonetheless, do you know the city of Belden to the south?
I remember seeing it on the map.
There is a titan nearby, or something we think might be a titan. People have come back with reports of it. They said they are fire-breathing monkeys. That, in of itself, is enough information to go on. Throw yourselves at it. However, I would urge you to hit the libraries and study. Nonetheless, I will mark it off for you. And he kind of picks a piece of paper from his pockets and kind of hands it to you with some information. It's a small scroll with some thing or two or three about it. In regards to the quest as it is.
Aha.
Fancy.
It's a level 3 quest.
Yes, you get the absolute shit kicked out of you if you try and face it as it is, seeing what you're equipped with and if you really know nothing about Titan slaying.
It does seem to have a red 3 next to it, so yes. Needs to be yellow or green.
So I would at least recommend you all try and either do a lot of research or empower yourselves before you go and try to slay these titans.
Or both.
Ideally both, yes.
Okay, let's do 3 levels worth of research.
Mm-hmm.
Well, research that sounds like it would be a good idea in this case.
I'm sure they have a good library here. We could go and look and see if there's anything about fire-breathing monkeys.
We shall.
I'm sure you'll find plenty of opportunity and places to research this creature. In any case, should you want to do any kind of research, there is a library, or at least a session about previously encountered titans at the Department of Warding. You can meet me there tomorrow and perform however much research you want to do. As well, for everything else, there's only so much I can convey through informal conversation. We wouldn't really need to sit down and talk the ins and outs of things. So, if you are interested in learning the tools of the trade again, I invite you to come tomorrow to my class. Or whenever you have the time, that is. I get to train legendary hunters again. How wonderful. And now, Professor Stratatu, the small rat folk, she looks up at all of you, and the gnome kind of nudges her, and she starts also introducing herself, unlike her dwarvish companion. Well, I'm Sissy Stratatu. I think you don't remember that. I have a little thing I want to do. Maybe you have been told about it already. We have the Wyrm project that we're trying to complete. There's a tower westward. I need to go look into it and recover some Cosmore. If you have the time, I would really like if you could accompany me.
When, that's a question.
As soon as you can. Tomorrow sounds great.
After class?
Yeah.
Sure. That sounds good.
Well then, we get out early in the morning, get the class, get the studying, and then we'll meet you up.
Oh, that sounds great. Well,
Do tell us more. What is this?
Cosmore, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, well. It's something we don't fully truly understand yet, but we gather that after the resurgence, it started appearing again in the world. Cosmore is a mineral that is naturally enchanted and charged with magic, and can allow enchantments to be passed forth. It acts as some kind of conduit between two things. We discovered that it rains from the sky during the Fivenit. Imagine as a meteor shower of sorts. Except that Cosmore has incredible, unique abilities. It can alter the fundamental laws of physics, and it can do wonderful things. It can, well, we theorize at least that it can alter time and space. But, that is incredibly far-fetched, and we are not entirely sure how to apply that with the little Cosmore we have to really perform research on it. But we know for a fact it can alter matter in some very significant ways, and one of the ways we are studying to use Cosmore to alter matter is to make matter lighter. So what we're thinking of is enchanting a ship, an actual ship, with Cosmore, and fuel the whole thing that so it can float and stay up in the air. making a flying ship. Can you imagine that?
No.
It sounds very amazing.
It is. Unfortunately, Cosmore is incredibly rare, and there's not much of it to go around. And what we're really trying to do, we saw some raining on that tower this past Fivenit, thanks to our astrologers, and we want to go there and try and fetch it back, come back here with it, and use it to assemble a ship. That's the Wyrm project, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense, no? I think.
At which point, Professor Macvander Fitzsmith pipes in as well. Oh, well, on top of that, there's also the fact that, like I was saying, Wordwood is a wood that can be more easily enchanted, so what we're thinking is that, well, in truth, Cosmore allows you to enchant something using your own arcane energy, so you could, well, transfer your power to the object through the Cosmore, a converter of sorts. The problem is that it needs a lot of energy to fuel it, to make its floating enchantment, so to speak. And, well, we don't have that much energy to just go around and about. So what Weirdwood would allow us to do, since it's easier to enchant, is to not need nearly as much energy to enchant it. In other words, we would need less magical power to make flying ships. Those two things combined can make airships. So, that's a bright side to the Fivenit, and
That's all in theory.
in theory, yes.
I mean, it sounds pretty rad.
It does sound very interesting.
Well, that's the bright side of the resurgence. It did bring all of these things to us, high magic as it is. The downside is that it also brought 4 titans, which is where you all come in. Well, that's where Novarcana comes in now together. We're trying to exploit the good and get rid of the bad. Good, quote unquote. In any case, well, I suppose that's also another good reason for you all to join up with the Academy. We are at the forefront of innovations even.
Yes.
There is no need to join what already. What? Yeah. English, brain, work, not.
Renew Academy subscription now.
We don't need to join what we are already a part of.
Well, that's where you're wrong. The Academy is a yearly thing. You have to renew it every year.
How much does subscription cost?
Well, that is up to Mr. Jurgenad and Professor Valdraff to tell you, but I think last year price was 100 golden crowns per month. So
Ooh.
it was it was a big amount.
How
I mean,
much gold did you find left after the Titan squished us to a puddle?
you have what you have.
Damn it.
Although,
Somebody definitely stole our things, I'm telling you.
Yep. I mean, with those prices, they are stealing constantly.
although as wardens, I think there's like a special program or something. That's why probably you join up as wardens. Is you get some discounts here and there. You get also the like I was saying, the whole ability to use the facilities and this and that.
So we don't get paid, and we have to pay you. Oh, okay, interesting.
Well, there is a downside to everything, I suppose, but think again, wherever in this world are you going to find flying ships other than Corund?
It smells like a scam.
Well, I don't know about that.
Apparently, we lived this life for 1 year. I think we could deal with it.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think you... Well, I think you find it enjoyable, so long as you don't die
Plus,
again.
maybe since we're legendary hunters, we'll get even a more special program.
Yeah, legends, apparently, according to that goblin gnome.
Maybe we'll be
Oh.
able to find out more about who we are then.
Well, if there is someone who would probably know more about you, that would be, Jurgenad himself. He was your handler, as far as most Titan slaying went, I think. Well, in any case, don't let us keep you. Thank you for your help earlier today, and well, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year to you as well.
And the dwarf also pipes up. Well, welcome back into the academy, and once again, I'm really sorry for you all losing your memories. That, I imagine, you make your life a little bit harder, but actually sounds, to a certain degree, sounds delightful to not remember. And Professor Stratatu also pipes up. Yeah, to not remember. That would be good. And she kind of turns her head away and walks off. As does the other two. And you're left to enjoy dinner in the dining hall and slowly but surely wrap your heads around all that's going on currently.
That does feel like high school.
So is there anything in particular you guys are doing, or you're going straight to bed?
I was going to ask, do we have a room? Having just recovered from a coma.
There is a dormitory, yes.
Okay.
And all of you have not a room per se, each one of you, but there is like a big room with several beds that fits several groups of persons. There is, however, a room for your group specifically.
Okay.
And when you go there, to this room, that apparently was previously owned by you, you see that the room is impeccably clean. In fact, too clean. It looks like it was just cleaned up. As in, there were things here before, and they made sure to make the room completely clean and ready for use for whoever new inhabitant was expected to come back here, seeing as for a while nobody knew for sure if you were dead or not.
I see, they were going to take our room.
I think they just assumed we're dead and got the next guys in here so they can be wardens. Damn.
So much faith in legendary hunters, eh?
Yeah.
They told them, be back next week about this time. But we did well today. I mean, we fought the zombie tree very well.
It was a bonding experience, yes.
That doesn't stop being a strange sentence.
The zombie tree?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
I mean, in hindsight, it makes sense, but the ideas of trees succumbing to undeath is a bit bizarre.
Really? Okay.
as I said, it makes sense in hindsight, but yeah. Also, I didn't thank you for, I guess, healing me earlier.
That is what I am here for. That is the service that I provide.
Ow, that tree fucking hurts.
And you fell down, and I got you right back up. Although, when you fall next time, don't land in the dirt.
Or on your head.
Unfortunately, I suspect that we're probably going to be doing almost exclusively that.
So, all of you gather around and hunker down for the night, for sleepsies, and all of you have somewhat weird dreams now that you're actually dreaming for the first time since waking up. There is this lingering sensation that you have lost something, which you clearly have, but it feels so tantalizingly close, like you can almost reach it, and every time you look around in your dreams, you see this big, menacing figure. Although you can't really put any details to it, mostly it's just a silhouette. And there's another figure there. And these two figures, they seem to loom over you, but they don't seem to focus on you. They seem to focus on one another. And then, at some moment, there is a mode of light between these two figures. And they don't seem to notice this mode of light as they continue to just argue with one another. And you find yourselves reaching towards this mode of light, inching closer and closer. And when you're just about to touch this mode of light, take it in your hands, see what it is. The figures, they turn immediately to you. One of them, its eyes turn red, and it just reaches its hands towards you, clawing at you.
Oh no, the claws.
And it is at that moment that the claws are about to reach you that you wake up, drenched in sweat as you wake up from this nightmare, and just this memory that is lingering somewhere in the back of your head.
Did somebody else have a nightmare about some red-eyed guy in claws?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'll get you one day, laser pointer. I'll get you one day. I mean, what?
I think that is probably related to the claw marks on our chests. Just a guess. This feels like a Voldemort Harry Potter situation with the connection.
Harry Potter, who's that? There's
Who
no,
knows?
there's no such thing.
Some famous magician, I don't know.
So,
Do we go back to bed or what?
well, eventually you manage to sleep through the night. Restless sleep as it is. But you do sleep. In fact, maybe it is a little bit restless because I've done a lot of sleeping these past 3 days. That you were unalive, and then you came back. So, the day starts You start to hear all the murmur of the crowds of people just exiting the dormitory to go each into their own places. Students and faculty just walking around the halls of the Nova Arcana. At which point now, you are free to do as you want. Although clearly there are places you could go that are more fortuitous than others.
What's the plan, fellas?
Well, we're going to the class today, I believe.
Yes, that was
First thing in the morning.
Yes, and then
Alright.
library, and after that, meeting with the professor and the tower,
Yes.
something like that.
I
Sounds
swear if they make us answer questions, then expect highly of us, because X, Y, and Z I'm going to murder someone. I hate it when they call on you to answer questions in class. Just stop.
So, day starts. All of you get yourselves ready to go to class. You make your way down to the range, and you notice that today the academy is filled with many more people than it was the day prior. You expect the reason for that is that the day prior was a holiday, New Year's after all. But today, not being a holiday, everyone's back on their own business doing things. So, there's a bunch of people in the academy, and when you go to the range, there is a lot of people there. Most don't even seem to even remotely recognize you. But you do find the dwarf professor, Hegel. And eventually, whenever you all find a place to sit down at in this large classroom, he starts going on about the work and job of a warden. And it's mostly just reiterating those things that you have already had explained to you by the gnome, by Professor Wyrm Fitzsmith, but he goes a little bit more into depth. There are other academies spread out in the world. Here in Rosenfeld, this continent where you're at, there are 3 such academies. The one that you guys are currently at, the Nova Arcana Academia. To the east, in the Kingdom of Nord, there is the Artificers League's College of Engineering and Spellcraft, who have, since Korund has also resurged along with High Magic, they have been trying to get in contact with that continent, try and learn however much they could, and Korund is a weird place divided into the people who despise magic and the people who despise technology. But every now and then, some people from 2 of those sides of the those 2 ends of the continent, those 2 different kingdoms, they come together and invent wonderful new things. One such invention were trains. And in fact, some people managed to bring back those innovations to Rosenfeld and installed train lines both in Mythos and in Nord. That is work that has been done by the Artificers League College of Engineering and Spellcraft. They also tell you about the other academy in the north, in Linia, the Halls of Arcane, Scientific and Theological Universal Rhetoric, that mostly deals with all of those matters of the arcane, the divine, the occult, but they also deal with some scientific research as well. And they seem to not shun any theory, but they also seem to have several theories that are ridiculously far-fetched, and they hold up to this day the hope that what with the resurgence bringing back high magic and also a lot of creatures, the Titans, creatures that have not existed in over a millennia, they hold high hopes that dragons have also made a comeback. For the past millennium, there has not been talk or sightings of dragons anywhere. Although some people prefer to keep their heads down to the ground with more practical matters than to speculate about the potential existence of dragons or not. And that is what Professor Hegel tell you about. While the academies are focusing on those things, some people are trying to make sure that the world post-resurgence is inhabitable by taking down those titans and also going around the world figuring out what weird things have been happening and trying to find a solution or to ward people away from those things. Several forests now that previously were just regular forests now have all kinds of weird enchantments on them that didn't exist previously. Something they call areas of wild magic. Places where if you were to try and cast a spell, it would not work as predicted and something weird would happen. Potentially beneficial, but most often than not harmful. And what with a lot of people suddenly awakening magical powers, most people are not aware of that and will just try go casting spells and inadvertently cast a spell in a wild magic area and just cause all kinds of mayhem and destruction. Not to mention potentially attract those titans to places.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Suddenly not knowing that it's out there and boom!
And he goes on about that, saying that the Academy here in Solfak has tried to partner up with the other two academies, successfully partner up with Alsis in Nord, but not so much with the Howls up in Linia, to try and get together into this whole warden job. The whole warden job, by the way, was actually something that was suggested by the Kingdom of Mythos to the west. They have always had this Wardens Guild, this group of legendary hunters that have always been trying to hunt mighty creatures, but with the resurgence, they have slightly changed their goals from being trophy hunters to being actually defenders of the realms. And they started to offer their own aid and assistance in training people to actually do monster hunting as a thing, instead of people just trying to willy-nilly go and hunt whatever. One thing that really is very important to keep in mind, however, is that we have been trying to do a lot of research. One thing that have been figured out is that titans don't just happen anywhere. They happen mostly in forests, and we learned that in some places, in some forests, have just a surge of magical energy. And this magical energy that surges there is what brings titans back whenever they are slain and their energy is not captured. We call these lairs. Titans have lairs, and if you capture a titan's energy, it will not return to its lair. So after defeating it, that area is more or less safe. There is a potential that another titan might show up instead, but there is also the chance that no titan will show up at all, and that is something we have seen happening time and time again. So our job is to clear out all of these lairs to stop titans from showing up. And how do we do that, you wonder? Titans are different creatures nobody has ever faced, so how do you go about facing something you don't know? That's easy, in theory. People from those nearby villages or towns, cities that have had some close encounter with the Titan will write back reports to us here at Nova Arcana. These reports will have some information that we can use to go on. Sometimes there's no information at all. At which point you need to go out there in the field, see the creature for yourselves, and then immediately retreat. Come back and research it. Research is the most important thing you will do as wardens here. Without knowledge, you are no better than animals swinging your arms at whatever it is that you're facing. Now, about knowledge and research. There is many ways to go about that. Namely, here at the Academy there are many libraries, but sometimes we do need to go out into the field and search for specialists. There are druids in the forests, there are arcanists who, well, for better or for worse, decide not to lend their knowledge here to the Academy, and there are also specialists, hunters, that also choose not to lend their knowledges here to the Academy. There are people spread around the world with knowledge and answers to what we seek, and your job would be to find them and learn what they know, that so we can defeat these titans. And then he goes on into more theory about how exactly you go about doing research. And for the better part of that, you grasp it. Pretty much just use the clues you have, go hit the books, and try to find all the weaknesses the creature has, that so you can exploit them. According to Professor...
Does he talk about a specific library that we should go to? Is there like a library in the town of Belden that we would
Here
research?
in Morgan, in the Academy.
Right. But they said we should go and talk to the people in Belden as well. But is there also a library in Belden?
Every major city, or the cities along this colored road, have a library. However, most of the knowledge has been gathered in Nova Arcana. If you are in Nova Arcana, it is the best place to do research.
Alright.
But sometimes libraries are not enough.
Yep.
He goes on also to tell that every single creature, other than humanoids that is, has a weakness. Universally, that is a truth. Every creature has a weakness. You have to find it and exploit it. Creatures that don't have weaknesses are ridiculously rare, but if there is a titan that does not have a weakness, that is a titan to be feared. And he also says that most of these weaknesses are not necessarily immediately apparent. Some creatures are, maybe they are weak to fire. Some creatures might be weak to cold damage. Some creatures might be weak to all kinds of things. Some weaknesses, however, are a little bit more nuanced. I do remember a story about a particular creature that will try and take you down and eat you, which is a terrifying creature as any, but this creature specifically has a very keen sense of smell, and it can detect things unbeknownst to us. We have found the creature's weakness. It's the most unorthodox thing you can ever imagine. Anyone here care to wager a guess at what that might be?
Taxes.
Actually laughs on that one.
Unfortunately not. The weakness that this creature had will surprise you. We learned that if...
Number 4.
Number 50.
If you yourself were to be poisoned, either because you poisoned yourself, for example, the creature would see you as a less desirable target. So, there was once a bunch of wardens who poisoned themselves on purpose before going to face this creature. Did that make the fight harder for them? To a degree, it did. But on another degree, it made them... well, that might have been exactly what have saved their lives. So keep that in mind. Every creature has a weakness. Find it and exploit it. And the way that you will find that weakness is through research. So, as part of partaking in this morning class, I don't suppose.
You gain 920 experience.
How convenient.
No, you don't. However, what you do gain is a +1 circumstance bonus to your recall knowledge checks to figure out what the absolute heck is the creature that you're currently facing.
And to figure out more, we should go to the library.
Yeah.
Fire-breathing monkeys.
So, after a very lengthy morning class, you are eventually dismissed near lunchtime. So,
Knick-knack, wake up.
Yeah.
It is rude to fall asleep in classes.
I'm sorry, he was talking about taxes, I think.
No, he wasn't. He was talking about creatures that we would be fighting and where to find the knowledge for them.
I think I got some of that. Maybe.
Alright, I think we have a date open, right?
yes.
What again?
We have a date, right? With that lady.
Well,
I
yeah,
forgot
we
her
were
name.
going to stop by the library first and then go to the lady with the tower.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you're doing what in the library?
We're trying to look up this creature.
Fire monkeys.
Here's the deal though. Trying to look up a creature is the kind of deal that will take the better part of a day.
Oh, okay. So we should go to the lady in the tower first.
Yeah. The thing with researching creature is that you have absolutely nothing to go on. So,
Fire-breathing monkeys.
well, you have that.
Okay, Google. Fire-breathing monkeys, go.
I don't know, receptionist. We can ask what section we should look in. Alright.
Well, in essence,
Where's the fire-breathing monkey section?
Yeah, exactly.
in essence, the biggest problem is that you're not entirely sure what you're looking for, so you're trying to figure that out first. That's the first part of the research. And
we'll meet up with the lady then.
doing that is the sort of thing that will take a day worth of research. But in any case, you head off to the bureau where you find Professor Stratatu. Or rather, Stratato.
Stratatouille.
No. You find her, and you can see that she is ready. She has her field getup, a cloak and a vest to go out into the field, and she is waiting for you guys besides a cart. And you can see that there's some manner of like exploration gear in this cart that she kind of expects to use potentially. There's a lot of stuff. Mostly the cart is empty, and you imagine that the reason for that is that she expects to bring back stuff from the tower.
More dead adventurers. Okay. Gonna bring the bodies back. It's so fun.
Ideally, you wouldn't really, make bodies. I think it's an abandoned tower. I don't see why there would be bodies there to be had or to be made.
We've had a long rest, correct?
Yes, all of you have had a long rest.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So, Vildak, you get your spell slots back. Knick-knack, you're no longer wounded. You can click the rest button in your guys' character sheets.
Yep.
There's a rest button. Yes.
A bed.
It's a bed, yes.
The Minecraft button, yeah.
The what?
Nothing.
Oh no, it's exploding.
Number 4 in my list is Wildak. You get a hero point.
Woo! Does that mean I have 2?
Yes, you have 2 hero points.
Thank you.
Ideally, you should be getting 1 per hour, but the first hour was more so just preamble.
Yeah.
So you get on the cart along with Professor Stratato, and you start making your way towards the tower. And she has someone else that is driving the cart for her. And
You're finally awake.
Oh no.
Kovo, that's too many references in one game. Eventually,
We're at 7 now.
Yeah.
I thought we were past 10 at this point. So, Professor Stratato, she looks up at all of you. She mostly is just curious, and then she says, "So, none of you remember being part of the academy at all? I mean, besides yesterday?"
I do not remember at all. The first thing that I did when I woke up was remember, traveling down a road collecting some taxes.
Oh, that was before.
Yes.
That was the before times.
To a degree, yes.
Taxes no longer exist.
Well, I'm really sorry that you have lost your memories, but hopefully you can now have space to make good ones. Honestly, I hope you enjoy your time here at Novarkana.
Oh, well, thank you.
And
I did it once, apparently. So, good odds.
well, yeah. And if you don't, I mean, you did perish. If I suppose
Perish the thought.
there would be no hard feelings if you were to decide to not follow down this path anymore. But I hope you do. It's always good to have more people around. Help is hard to come by. And she guides you all eventually, or rather, the person who's driving the wagon guides you all eventually to the tower, or near the tower. Eventually, at some point, you do cross a bridge. Much farther out into the road west, starting to go up the mountains, but not quite. And when you get there, there's this fork in the river, and as you see, it's a rather large river. It's about, I think, 60 feet wide. I had notes somewhere, but it's a wide river. And she gets down from the wagon and starts looking over at it. Oh, bother! I had forgotten about this. Well, I hadn't really forgotten about this, but I thought someone would have dealt with this already.
That there's no bridge, that we're going to be going through the river.
Yeah, the bridge crosses one river, but then it forks and the tower is on the other side of another river.
Uh-huh.
Well, I suppose this is a good as time as any to inquire. Do any of you have any idea what we might do in a situation like this?
Are there any trees nearby that we could fell over, at least walk over them?
There are trees, yes, that you could, over a length of time, start to fell and use as a bridge to cross.
And once the trees have been felled, they will grapple you.
Oh, you're so saucy today.
So I mean that seems like a good idea. We've seen Rusty cut down trees or cut up trees, so maybe he could help cut down a tree, and then if it falls over the river, then we can walk over the tree.
Well, yes, that is a good solution, but there's a better solution.
Teleporting? I don't know.
The better solution is to think not about the immediate moment, but the moments afterwards. If we do find something inside the tower, we need to bring it back with us. And it would be very hard to do that on a log. So instead, I have this, and let this be a lesson. Sometimes it's good to be prepared for things. And she pulls out a feather token. It's a small coin-like token with an engraving in the front of it, and you're more or less aware that there are feather tokens around, and they all have different magical effects, and they also range wildly in price. This feather token that she has, she kind of steps close to the edge of the river, then she stops, looks back at you and says, Could you please take a few steps back? Or rather, several steps back. Go back to the road.
All right.
And then she herself also takes a few steps back around, kind of looks for a little while, tries to make some measures in her head, and eventually she kind of gets down on the ground, snaps the token in half. She puts one half of the token where she is, and the other one, you just see that she kind of takes a wind up and just tosses it across the river onto the other side, and it lands there, close to the other side of the river.
Holy smoke, she threw something 60 feet.
It's very small.
That makes it harder a lot of the
It
time.
does make it harder.
To a degree. But yeah,
It's magic.
she managed to toss it across the river to the other side, thanks to magic, yes. And once it lands there, you can see that these two tokens, the two halves, they kind of sort of start to emanate magic energy, and a bright light kind of emanates from them and meets halfway across on the middle of the river, and this bright light kind of forms like a bridge of light, and then it keeps expanding and growing outwards until this bright light eventually dissipates, and all that remains is a somewhat rickety but mostly solid wooden bridge.
All right.
Fancy.
Alright.
Alright, so this token makes, well, the token I used, it makes bridges. There's a few downsides, however. The bridge will collapse within a week, so we shouldn't dally. But also, it's rather expensive, so another thing to keep in mind. But it's a good way to cross great gaps. Hopefully you're taking notes about everything thus far.
Always.
So, she starts leading you guys across the bridge towards the tower. But once you get to the tower, that's when she really stops on her heels, look up at it, the whole extension of the thing, and you see that she's looking at the very top of the tower, where she says, "That is where we saw the Cosmore landing. We need to get up there through the inside. We have seen the base of the tower before, but we have never really gone up. Or at least from the reports of the boys, nobody has really gone up the tower, and well, let's do it, I suppose."
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm in no way, shape, or form a fighter, or a spelunker, a warden, or anything of the sort, so I'll actually let you take point in this one. Just
All right.
try not to touch anything, if at all possible. Just make sure that the way is clear. So, you open the door to the tower, and you see it's a circular tower, classical wizard tower. Off to the side, there's a circular staircase that goes up in a wall that is just lined with old paintings and portraits that are hanging there. And at the top of the staircase, you do see that there's a door that an actual vertical door leading into a room. And there's this division between the bottom part of the tower. In fact, this whole bottom half of the tower, there's like it's 40 feet height. So the circular stair kind of goes around once or twice around the entire tower before you get up to the very top.
Okay.
And at the bottom, what you see is at the center there's a pyre or some manner of like basin that you could use as a pyre, and you see that there's some charcoal in there in this pyre, and elsewhere in the room you just see some fabric, some cloth kind of strewn about, and that's pretty much it.
So looking at the paintings, are they the same person or different people or?
The paintings are all of different persons, but all of these persons, they seem to have some manner of similarity to one another. You imagine
Right,
that
so it might be a family line or something.
you imagine it might be a family line. Yeah. Yeah, you would have no reason to suspect otherwise, I don't think.
Okay. Well, I suppose we should light this fire. Do you guys need light to see?
Let me check. I think I actually have night vision, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this where we respawn?
No, mind, I don't. Low light vision, I do. Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. Does everyone have low light vision?
I have dork vision.
Okay.
What is that?
The human would
It's
not.
the ability to see all of you.
Ah, okay.
The human would not have dark vision at all.
Well, then I will snap my fingers and light appears.
Light. You're casting the light spell. Okay. So, onto what object you're casting the light spell?
The end of my spear.
All right.
His charming personality.
Oh, you. So, you enchant your spear with light, that's so you can illuminate the path. And what next?
I'm supposing we're going up the staircase, the stairs around the edges of the tower.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Carefully looking for things.
Perception checks. Hmm?
Carefully,
Don't step on something.
carefully looking for things, you say, huh?
Yes.
I see.
Things. Yeah.
I have keen sight, so I get a plus on my perception bonus to spot hidden things.
Oh.
From what I recall, it's not all hidden things, but rather hidden creatures. I think.
There you go.
Yeah, concealed or invisible creatures.
Yep.
So to see creatures, yes, you would have that. So,
All right, so I need to roll my perception.
Yes, I will need each and all of you to go ahead and roll for me a secret perception check.
Click on the I button, Lars.
Fortunately, it has a free secret perception check button.
Yeah. Hold the I.
Suppose I'll need to roll for Regis since he's away. There he goes, everyone's rolled. So Lex and Wildek, as the two of you are starting to go up the stairs, you do notice there's something odd about some of these paintings.
All right.
They feel almost like they're alive. Most of these paintings are just paintings, but some of these paintings you actually look at them and it is odd. You could swear that the person was in a different pose or with a different expression, but when you look again, it's different from what you think you remember just the last time around. And
oh, there's something there. There is something there. I warned the group. Something's wrong with some of these paintings. I think that they may be creatures of some variety.
Yeah, something's terribly off there. I think they're moving when we're not looking.
Not only that, but at this point also you seem to realize that these paintings, there's some noise that they're making, almost as if they're slowly, softly breathing, just waiting for something, and the smallest hint of a snicker or a cackle leaves the paintings.
So we were going to go up the staircase, Weiss, but now we think that some of the paintings might be alive or creatures inside of them, and they're laughing at us.
Lovely.
So, Wildak and Lex, you stop there for a moment trying to figure out, ponder and wonder what the absolute heck is up with these paintings, and you get the sense they are either enchanted or they're possessed. Some kind of ghostly possession that is inhabiting the paintings.
Should we just shoot a painting and see what happens?
That sounds like a great idea. I mean, we could set it on fire. I mean, it's not a lot going to burn on a masonry wall.
That's what they all think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to set fire to the painting.
Yes.
Who is going to do that?
I can't. I do not fire.
I don't fire.
I'll
You're a
do it.
mage. Yeah.
Who's mage? I'm not a mage.
Agusi, whatever.
Magus. But I'll do it fancy way.
Okay.
Are you going to stab it with fire?
That. Yeah.
Of course!
Perfect.
No, I'm not going to stab it with fire.
Oh.
I'll take it back. Prestidigitation does not produce any sort of flame and fire.
Nope. Nope.
Ah, damn it.
That would be silly.
Then I'll just use produce flame.
Alright. So, Vice, you use produce flame to set this painting on fire. And as you do, all of you hear this loud screech of pain as the painting just starts burning. And Wise, you being closer to it, see this kind of apparition, this ghostly presence, an actual ghost that is possessing the painting, leaves it rushing out of it. So I will need you, Vice, to give me a wonderful Will saving throw. Oh my lord, this the DC for this is super high.
Alright, how do I do... Here it is. I'm
On-
an expert in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, left side of your character sheet.
Public, private.
Public.
I don't know what that is. That is 7.
It's a 3, actually.
Yeah, the icon on the dice is a 3. 7 is going to fail that.
Lovely.
Just remember, you have will hero point you can use to
I
reroll.
will spend a hero point, yes.
All right. So you can right click on the card in chat and press the reroll using hero point or something like that.
That's absolutely the same.
Wow.
It absolutely is.
Impressive.
So, Vice, the ghost that rushes out of the painting just kind of screams at your face, and you will suffer this.
Creepers.
You will suffer this amount of mental damage. Oh my lord!
10 points.
You suffer 10 points of mental damage, and not only
My
that.
mentals, they've been damaged.
Not only that, but as the ghost kind of comes rushing out of the painting, even though it's incorporeal, there's just a burst of energy that comes with it, and it pushes you off of the stairs.
Oh, lovely. Whose idea was it?
So,
Hope you're not pregnant.
Oh no!
Sorry.
what?
That was dark.
Yeah.
I will break that
Uh,
gargoyle in pieces.
Vice, I need you to make a reflex save to grab an edge of the stair as you.
Ah yes, I'm an expert in will, but reflexes... no.
I'm an expert in stare.
Yes.
I've lost
That
it.
is low.
A 12, yeah. You fail to hold on to the edge of the staircase. You try to grab at it, but you can't quite. And just
And they're just standing there and watching it. Thank you, guys.
It's quite funny.
I mean,
Oh,
you barely have time to react.
yeah, all of
Oh.
this happens incredibly fast. So you will fall 20 feet from the middle of the staircase down to the ground, and falling in Pathfinder, you suffer half the height of the fall worth of bludgeoning damage. So you suffer 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm dead.
You mean unconscious?
For real? Wow.
Yes, Mr. Touch the painting.
So you all see the ghost rushing out of the painting, blasting through Vice, kind of bamboozling him so much that he can't even see what he's doing. He stumbles off of the side of the stairs. There's no railings, and he just falls down the middle of the tower into the ground, and he just splats and remains immobile once he lands there.
That is an OSHA violation. There's no railings.
That is it.
Yep.
So, what are the rest of you doing now that you see this?
Where is the ghost?
The ghost is gone.
Okay.
It was possessing the painting, and you purged the painting.
Purge it. Yep.
I think the next painting is gonna do the same thing, so maybe we can just shoot him.
Maybe
Hello,
we
I'm
should
dying.
attend.
Oh, why is
Maybe
that?
we should attend to Vice.
Yes, yes.
That's an option. I forgot.
All right, let me go heal him.
Alright. So, Vildak, you rush down the stairs back to Vice. And you heal him.
I'm supposed to do more than that.
You should have clicked the 2 action version. You clicked the 3.
I did, but every one of them is supposed to do a D8. Increase it by 8.
No. That's for the 2 action version. You clicked the 3 action version.
Reaction version allows you to do it in a...
Never.
In area. So, Vice, you heal 1 plus 8 hit points, so 9.
Yep.
You are absolutely hurting after this fall, and you are wounded 1.
Whose idea was it?
Everyone's, I believe.
I'm gonna be really quiet. But I want to summon my.
He will
other-
begrudgingly stand up with a lot of pain, go out 2 legs, pick him
No!
up,
No!
and hit him at the painting.
No!
Were any of these other paintings within 30 feet? Because they will also get hit by that positive energy. Mr. Dog.
I was
Did you do it
muted,
as
sorry.
Did you do that as a 3-action call?
I did do it as a 3-action.
Well, if you did do it as a 3-action thing, then Vice only heals 1 hit point instead.
Okay, never mind. Forget that.
Okay. That's what I thought.
I thought this you were doing it as that. Sorry.
No.
If one action, quickly do something.
So yeah, if you want to
I
do
will
it...
cancel the eating and just drink a potion.
Alright. So if you're actually using 2 actions to heal, then you heal 1d8 plus 8. But if you're using 3 actions, then you disperse positive energy in an area.
Correct.
And everything takes 1 damage.
Yep.
Or however much you rolled. So,
Right.
as you look at it with Wildak, now that you know exactly what's going on, it is indeed a ghost that is inhabiting the paintings, you can try to, should you want to, channel your religious energies toward the group from evil. Pretty much just exercise the paintings.
I will try that, but I don't know how to do that on this sheet.
Okay, make me a religion check. If you critically fail, you actually trigger the thing again.
All right, here we go. 14.
14. Will not do it. The DC is 15.
Oh,
Hero point, hero point, hero point.
yep, I will do that.
Alright. So right click on the card in chat and choose to reroll. That will not do it. The spirits are not at all impressed with your attempt to exorcise them. And in fact now all of the paintings that are
Lazy.
all of the paintings that are possessed, they're so miffed by your attempt that they just start kind of spinning in place. And then the chuckles get louder. The cackles even.
Well, now we know which paintings are possessed.
If we do.
So I call that a success.
Well, that's the thing though. If you try to interact with them in some way, shape, or form, they will do the thing again. You imagine. Unless there's another way in which you can think of trying to exercise them.
Stand on the first floor and shoot them with a gun.
Is that so?
I mean, that's an option. I do have a produce flame is 30 feet. After all.
Alright, that's fair, I suppose. So all of you are going to climb down to the base of the tower and just start lobbing flame and lead upwards. That's
We're
so.
gonna try.
I mean, if we're gonna just keep falling because someone decided that OSHA violations be damned.
Alright, that's
Yes.
fair. So,
I mean, I can also just climb up the wall across the way and out of reach of its nonsense and shoot it.
Well, whichever way you are doing it, you systematically, one by one, start shooting down all of the paintings, and they're particularly angry, all of them, and eventually when you shoot down all of the paintings, all of these spirits, the ghosts that have been inhabiting this tower, they just grow absolutely tired of your nonsensical BS, and they just all coalesce into a mass of angry spirits that just flushes down the whole length of the whole height of the tower and out through the main door. But they will pass through you all. So, well, Melos is not here, but I will need everyone to give me a will saving throw. DC is 19.
Woo! How about a 21?
That'll do it.
How about an abject failure?
Oh my dog.
How about this number?
Oh, that dice traveled.
This number is this.
Welcome back,
Do
Melos.
I want to spend a hero point?
I need you to make me
Not sure.
a will saving throw.
Yeah, I'm reloading. Give me a second.
If I right-click this, I can say reroll using a hero point.
Yep.
I cannot
Better.
log in as my character for some reason in Foundry.
Come again?
Probably because you're still technically logged in and Foundry hasn't learned that you're logged out yet.
Yeah, hold
Will
on.
you kick me, maybe?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I kicked you. Try refreshing your browser and logging in again.
I kicked you, please respond.
So, this is a this is a basic saving throw, which means you are having the damage. Those of you who made it, Knick-Knack who failed will be suffering the full damage, whereas the critical failure would double the damage. So you're not getting that outcome, which a lot of people would agree is much better.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, I had low odds of passing, so I thought just not crit failing is good too.
And this is the damage. So, Knick-Knack you suffer 8, Vice and Vildak you suffer 4 mental damage.
Is that just a damage type?
Yeah, it's a damage
Okay.
type.
Right, it would be psychic in D&D, right? Yes, that makes sense.
Which means that if you are a creature with the mindless trait, you cannot take mental damage.
Ah,
It would be very useful to be stupid once.
Head empty, cannot take mental damage.
Exactly, that's how it works.
I don't
Still
think my
cannot log
construct
in.
is mindless. Let me check.
Vice, have you taken damage?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I have
Construct
8
type.
HP.
Neat.
It says they are often mindless, but it doesn't say they're always mindless. So it is.
I will not take any suggestions from all of you from now on.
Oh no, don't be angry.
Foundry does not like me.
Why? What's going on?
I still can't select my character.
Try closing the whole browser and opening it back up again.
I'll do it again, but didn't work last time. I can just try a different browser, maybe that helps.
Yeah, try that. Unless kicking someone from the game actually takes away their everything. I don't think Foundry works that way, but wouldn't that be awkward to
I
learn?
don't believe so. That would be very embarrassing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nope, but I'll just do it in the different one.
In which case, are you alright with me rolling your saving throw for you, Lex?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, so you are making a will saving throw. Thankfully, you are supposedly an expert at that. But
That's what Reggie said before he got thrown down the stairs.
yeah. So you fail. So
Oh no!
You'll be taking the full damage, which should be 8 points of mental damage, unless you want to use your hero points to reroll that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. By the way, rerolling with a hero point does not guarantee you succeed.
I know.
In fact, it can make everything just worse if you roll worse than that.
We're into gambling, Doug.
Come again?
We like
I'm
to
doing.
gamble. We're into gambling, Doug. We like to gamble our lives.
I see how it is.
I'm just doing a Regis and doing the same things and can't wait to get thrown down the stairs.
I see how it is with you.
I was on a wall.
Okay, so after shooting down and burning all of the paintings and exorcising all of the ghosts, they just scream in agony and just flush down the tower, just running, flying out of it, passing through all of you, causing a load of mental damage. But now you see
I
that
counterattack. I use Expectum Patronus.
you don't know the spell.
Damn it.
And yeah, you guys are good. You have successfully exorcised the paintings, and you'd see no other weird happenings with the paintings upwards the stairs.
Got it.
I think Knick-Knack looks pretty bad.
Yeah, he does look pretty bad. Can we do some medicine checks on him and see if we can get him healed?
Yeah, you can. You can take 10 minutes to do treat wounds.
Yeah.
So
treat wounds.
that will be a medicine check. The DC is 15.
Let's see what I can do. How about that?
A 21, that's neat. So you will heal Knick-Knack for 2d8.
9 points.
So Knick-Knack, you regain 9 hit points.
Yay! That was all my missing hit points, +1.
And now you're immune to be treated by treat wounds for an hour.
Right.
That sounds terrifying. You are immune to having your wounds treated.
It's that bad.
But I mean, systematically, if you want to, you can take your time healing everyone, treating everyone's wounds.
Let's do that.
Alright. Give me 3 more rolls then.
Medicine free. Can I roll 2?
So for wise, it's only 11.
That's a failure. Sorry, what did you say, Melos?
Can I roll 2? I have a +3 on medicine. I think that
Are you
works.
are you trained in medicine?
Yes.
Do you have healer's tools?
Ah, damn! I don't think I have those.
And a 17 for Lex.
Alright.
Forgot to buy those. Damn it! I need to do that next opportunity.
So yeah, you can heal Lex in 2d8. Roll that.
You get 7 back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we're good for right now. I can't do anything unless I want to heal, cast another spell on Wise.
Yeah.
You forgot to treat yourself.
No, I'm good. I'm okay for the moment.
Okay.
Hashtag treat yourself.
Hashtag treat yourself.
So after you spend about half an hour treating everyone's wounds, you just hear the shrill voice coming from the outside. Is everyone all right?
You
No, I almost died for. Never mind.
All
The
right.
paintings were angry.
The paintings were angry, yes.
very angry.
Okay. Let me know when you're done, and I'll come in.
He's not happy whatsoever. Oh, I see.
No.
Says who?
So I'm guessing we can go on up the stairs to the second floor.
Yes, there is a door on the way though.
Like in the tower?
Yes, the stairway, it goes up circling around the tower, but when it gets to the top of the staircase, you can see that it's there's a whole chamber on the top, and the top of the stairs there's a vertical door leading into another room, this upper chamber. So there's like a recess in this chamber that is the space for the staircase itself.
Got it.
But yeah,
I think we should still go on up. I mean, that we know that it came in the top of the tower.
mm-hmm. So all of you once again climb up the stairs, and getting to the top of the stairs, you find yourselves in front of a door. A simple wooden door.
Burn it.
The most dangerous.
Who said that?
So I will reach out and open the door.
All right.
Mad lad.
Give me a secret perception check. Will
A
that?
secret perception.
Yeah.
A perception.
All right. So, as you go to open the door, you stop for a moment, your hand hovering over the handle, and then you think maybe this door is also possessed in some way, shape, or form by ghosts.
Oh, good lord! It's ghosts everywhere. There's a ghost in the door.
You laughed at me when I said to burn it.
So you look up at the door, look around, and try to think about it for a little while, but eventually you shake your head. The door is not possessed by ghosts. But for a moment there, you consider the possibility.
Alright, then I open it.
Okay.
Roll a will save.
This feeling over your head that something could be wrong is quickly dissuaded and wants to go, yeah, sure, it's just a door. So you go, turn on the latch to open the door. The door turns. However, once it turns and you push it open, something on the handle just seems to come out of the lock and just pricks you onto the back of your hand. And I need you to make me a fortitude saving throw, DC 18.
Oh no. It's tetanus again.
No, not again.
13.
That's a failure.
Let's use a point.
Oh, I have another. Good.
Oh my god.
And
And that was the end of Wild Act.
you get to keep your you get to keep it the new roll. So instead of going to stage 1 poison, you're going straight into stage 2.
Lovely.
You will take 2d6 poison damage and you are drained. Actually, reduce 4 from that. You put 4 in there automatically.
The healer is dead.
So you take 6 points of poison damage.
So 6 points of poison damage, alright?
Yep. And you are drained 2 for 1 hour.
This tower, man.
Alright, it's time to do some healing.
Okay, it's
Now-
been 5 seconds. It's time to rest for 10 minutes.
No, I'm going to do a spell. I'm going to get Wise close to me and do the rank 3, the level, the
3 action version.
I don't need to be that close. Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Now kiss.
This spell
Anybody
only
else
works if you spoon.
who needs healed, get close.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
He needs 1 whole point. What do you mean?
Alright, everybody gets 7.
Okay.
Fancy.
So,
You,
Lex, you heal up the missing point you had. Vise, you heal 7 hit points, and Wildak also heals 7 hit points.
And any ghosts within
30
30
feet.
feet of you that take 7 hit points. I think there's a fortitude save attached to that.
Yeah, there would be a fortitude saving throw test attached to that, but nay. All the ghosts apparently were in the paintings and they have been exorcised from the tower. In fact, once the ghosts have been exorcised, the paintings, you see that all that was left them is just a background. There's no person there whatsoever. The ones you didn't burn, that is.
Got it.
And after casting a heal on you all, you push open the door again, but this time being very, very, very careful not to be pricked. You just push
Because
open.
there's a pin right there.
You push open the door, and when you get to the top of the tower, all that you really truly see is a vast empty room with not much else going on in there.
Shouldn't be there the shard of that thing over there?
Yes,
Hold on.
except for the fact that there is a hole in the ceiling, and you look around the room and you don't really see anything. Eventually,
They said it was magical. Huzzah!
alright, so Vise, you cast Detect Magic, and you do sense that there is magic around you. You start. It doesn't really shows you where there is magic, but you do sense that it is here. You start looking around the room, all of you, and when you look over at the very top, you'd see that there is a big chunk of stone that is caught at the very tip of the conical roof of the ceiling of the tower.
Way up there.
Yep.
And we do see like the edges of the tower and stuff. It's not just blackness. I mean, I've got my light on my spear.
Yeah. You can see the entirety of this room. There's nothing else there. What you do see is there's a part of the ceiling, there's a hole, there's a part of the floor that you can see, there's a kind of a scorch mark and kind of a dent in the wood, and that's it. Looking up at the very tip of the conical ceiling of the tower, you see a chunk of stone.
Got it.
The ceiling is about 20 feet high. The
maybe
very edge of the ceiling.
Well, there it is up there. I see
yeah, but
it.
what I was supposed to do with it?
Don't gargoyles have wings? Can't you fly up there and get it?
No, I can glide. I cannot fly upwards. So
Ah.
He's made of rock. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he can glide. Maybe I can climb up walls.
Can you?
I have gecko feet, sort of.
Gecko feet.
Do you? Since
More or
when?
less.
Alright, talk me through your climbing nonsense.
Let me find the... Not an action, it's a trait or something.
A feat, you mean?
Ancestry. It's the heritage.
The bonus feat combat
Mhm.
climber?
Let me just find my ancestry.
No, I think I found it in your feats page at the very far bottom. Combat climber. Is that it?
I mean, it gives me that feat as well, but let me just have a look. You gain the combat climber skill feat, even if you don't make its prerequisites. You can use your claw feet and tail to climb, leaving your hands free. And stuff and things. So I believe... Yeah. I can use both hands while on a wall, so I essentially have stuff. I don't think I literally stick to walls, though that would be hilarious.
Yeah, no. What I'm hearing there is that if you're in a cavern, it's easier for you to climb. But
Yep.
Mecha-
If there's broken bits of wall shit, I can probably climb pretty good too.
mechanically, what that does is it allows you to not be flat-footed while you climb.
So hold still a minute, Knick-Knack, and I pray, and I pray, and I cast that on him.
Agile feet.
Do we have a strong man who can just throw me? I can fly. I can glide after all, so.
So you can ignore difficult combat, and you add 5 to your movement.
Yay.
To the
And
movement.
it works. It works if you have a climb.
Yay.
Alright, because of the spell, I'm going to allow you, Knick-Knack, to make an athletics check to climb with a +2 circumstance bonus.
Yay. Let's see.
The DC is 14,
and
by the
if I
way.
succeed at an athletics check to climb, I critically succeed instead.
Mm-hmm.
I will one day learn where to find those things. Good thing
Not
I'm
good.
whatever. +2 and roll. Yeah, that should be 17.
Yeah, I didn't apply your +2 correctly, but you do manage to climb.
I put the 2 in the plus section and it didn't add.
It's the third little thingy. That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I put it in.
You have to press the add button at the end
Ah, okay.
to add that as a modifier, because you can keep adding modifiers if you want, or rather, if you can, not if you want. Nonetheless, you climb up all the way, the walls, the wooden beams and structure that holds this portion of the tower and the conical ceiling together. You climb up all of these support beams, and when you get all the way to the top there, Knick-Knack, you grab onto to this very large chunk of stone, pretty much. Looking at this stone, you see that it's very mesmerizing to look at. It is tremendously black, almost like obsidian. However, there's a somewhat slight translucent property to it, and inside it, if you were to focus on it, you could almost see what feels like little dots moving around, little white dots moving around. It feels almost like looking at the night sky if you were to look at one place and then another. It feels like you are holding a piece of the sky in your hands. In your claws, rather.
I'm starting to see things.
And when you pull it, you sense that it's surprisingly light. It's almost like holding a helium balloon. Despite the size of this chunk of rock that you're holding onto.
I shall now let go of everything and drift down slow. No, not doing that. Okay. I yell that I think I've got it, and I begin to climb down like a sensible person.
Alright. Thanks to your combat climber feat, you can climb whilst holding things. And you make down back to the rest of the group.
What you got there?
I think that was what the lady was after.
I think so.
And not only
Okay, I
that,
think I see what this does. I don't need one hand on the wall because I have a tail that I can grab the wall with.
yeah, more or
That's
less.
what it says here.
So the
2 hands, yeah.
this chunk of rock, you sense that it's very light, and if you were to let go of it, it would want to glide upwards back again.
We should definitely hold on to it. We don't want it floating away.
tie a rope to it and make it a balloon.
I mean, I do have a lot of rope. I'm taking my Skyrock for a walk.
Yes.
How wholesome. So, once you...
take it back to the lady.
Alright. Once you have that in hands, you make your way back down the stairs to the tower, looking back with fondness to all of the little dangers you have faced here, the conical ceiling with a chunk of rock on the top, the staircase lined with paintings of persons, some of which were haunted, and the floor of the tower, whereas previously there was only a pyre with charcoal and nothing else, and through a side some cloth and fabric strewn about. Now there's also a blood splatter there where Vice landed.
Marking my territory, I guess.
It's a dog thing.
But when you eventually exit the tower, the rat folk lady, Professor Stratato, she looks up at all of you. You have found it! That's exactly it!
What is that exactly, Mrs.?
That is a chunk of Cosmore. Like we said, it's a mineral that comes down from the skies. It rains down onto the planet during the Fivenit.
I remember.
And that's what we're going to try to use to build an arcane converter to install onto the ship for the Wyrm project.
Hopefully it will work. Knick-Knack almost floated off with it.
Well, I mean, if you were to be light enough, I suppose you would fly away with it. Which, in fact, we imagine is the reason why we don't find many of these around. After they rain down during the Fivenit, and the Fivenit is gone, all of those chunks that are just around, they just fly away. Which is
that makes sense.
why
Sounds very impractical.
yeah.
Wait, does this mean that when they fly away up, they then fall down again, and then go up, and down, and up?
Yeah.
No.
We suppose that that's how it happens, which is why it's so hard to come across Cosmore.
But I guess we could. I do wonder on what height do those rocks fly.
Well, if it takes half a year for them to go up all the way and another half the year to come down, very far away.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we imagine they just go away.
It just means on every new year, after you have the flying boat, they're going to be rock fishers now.
Yes. Like I said, we have hired astrologers this past year to try and predict the path of some of these cosmores, to try and see if we could scrounge back one or two or three of these. Thankfully, we found this one. I'll have to confer with some of my colleagues then eventually to see where else Cosmore has landed, and if we can acquire more. Oh, we wouldn't be nearly as lucky to have it land nearby, I don't think, but one can hope, I imagine.
Yeah, this tower was definitely haunted by ghosts.
Did you know about that?
Well, I had some idea. I mean, this town has been here for ages, and people mostly just ignore it. Although, I have heard many a story of travelers coming from Kyria that camp in this tower before making the rest of the trek to Mergin. But that's about it. I don't think anyone has ever really tried to dare go up all the way up. And even if they did, I don't think there's anything worth anything in there. I think it's empty at this point.
Yes,
It's
it was.
pretty empty.
Well, in any case, thank you for your help. I suppose we can go back to Novarkana now.
Library time. Let's go.
All right. And she gets, with your help, gets the chunk of Cosmore tied to the wagon, which turns around after you all cross the bridge, and you start making your way back to the Novarkana Academia, with it securely tied to the wagon. And at which point, just for the brief moment, you imagine what they were talking about, this whole getting Cosmore to enchant something and then Weirdwood to facilitate said enchantment. And you think to yourselves, just for a brief moment, how awesome would it be to enchant this wagon so I could fly?
Yeah.
That would be nifty.
However, you lack the knowledge, the expertise, and the know-how to do that. Which is why you are going back to the academy to let the researchers do that for you. And you do arrive there in the academy at the end of the day. Very later in the day, in fact. In the evening, rather. By the way, you all look horribly battered. Did something happen up there? I mean, aside from the ghosts?
Just the ghosts. A lot of the ghosts.
Well, thankfully you had a holy man with you.
Yes. I wish I could have done more.
Oh, it's alright. I imagine you're still getting back to the hang of things. You have been out of it for a while, from what I hear.
Oh, that is true.
So don't worry. I'm sure you get back on your feet. Sooner rather than later, at least. Well, nonetheless, thank you so very much again for your assistance with the tower, and well, there's much to do to the Wyrm project. I suppose I'll see you later. If just as an aside, we need someone else for the Wyrm project, a pilot to, fly the ship. And as it is, we have someone in mind in Mergin, and we were going to ask them to come once the project is done, but I suppose we could also use this as an opportunity to, walk around and try to see the sights. Try and
Yeah, definitely.
maybe, hopefully, remember something about yourselves. If you would like, my companion, the Professor Pitacos, he is going there eventually later in the week to fetch this pilot, so you could accompany him. Have a guide, maybe.
That would be good because seeing more of the area might definitely jog something in our memories.
Well, I would hope so. In any case, once again, thank you so very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And she waves goodbye to you all and carries her new pet rock back to her lab. Or rather, not to her lab, to the workshop where she and Professor Mac Vander Fitzsmith might start trying to make some progress in their Wyrm project. And you gain yourselves 50 experience points from this. And that is where we're going to be ending today's game.
Alrighty.
All right.
Woo.
With all of you back at the academy, with some days off in front of you, or a lot of potential and opportunity to start looking into new things to do. So, for now, this is it. But next week we should have many more fun things to go and do here.
Hooray!
In which case, I hope you guys enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
Yes, it was nice.
Was, yes.
Neat. Which is good because all of this enjoyment has been recorded into video format and has been broadcast to the peeps of the interwebs. So, to those of you who are watching, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye,
Bye.
peoples.
Now, as for yourselves,